Everybody, and welcome to the Touring Car Sim Racing League. This is the penultimate round. We are in Portugal at Portimao GP race circuit. It is super hot at the top of the league tonight. So we'll go through that quickly. If you're new to this, that's me. My name is Andy Pawley. I will be here for the duration of this evening's festivities. We are, like I said, at the Portimao circuit. We're on the GP layout. That's the one that they ran during COVID. The air temperature is 86 degrees. Track temperature, 86 degrees. With a little bit of wind. It's dry. It's forecasted dry because it never rains in race room. You can now go through a whole life cycle from sunrise to sunset, but that's about it. There's 28 drivers in at the moment, so when we start qualifying, it looks like we will be reversing at position 18. There are some new people, because some people have dropped out. I will go through those as that develops. Right. Over to the drivers' standings. So at the moment we have a new leader in the overall driving standards. That is Stu Neal. There he is. It's the wrong car for those of you, the eagle-eyed viewers. I didn't get time to update it, so we're on that. He's level pegged with Ninad, both on 171 points. Stu Neal has more race victories than Ninad, so Ninad has 83 kilograms. Shaw's Euster has 56 kilograms in third. Bass didn't have a very good week last time. Slightly benefited him. Can he maximise those points? Jean Pretzer is down to fourth. Poddy Flack stays in fifth. Van Skeppen rising up the order. He's in sixth with 35 kilograms on board. Butcher's now down to seventh on 28. Nick Papadim dropped a few into eighth position on 21 kilo. Bojan is on 14 kilo at the moment. Watch out for Bojan in that Honda. He is rapidido. Double victor time last time out. Can he do it again? Simon Trebek took his first race victory last time out in this season's Tcsrl. He was super happy with that, so he gets himself 7 kilos. Then we have Opalik. We've got Opalik followed by T-Joke, Boki, Nicky, Prieto, who's not racing anymore, Craig Deeks, George Rallytas, Manuel Alves, Ashbourne, Guinea, Smith, and then you've got, it says Kirby. So it's had a whole bit of thing in there. Martin Kirby doesn't hold up all of those. It's actually, yeah, because it's missed 23, 24, 25, so it's out. You've actually got Andrea by Rob South, Mike Bullen, JC Cameo, and Bill Campion, and that stacks up all the drivers who actually have a position with us. Over to the team, the individual Pro-Am and Am series. This is also heating up. So in the Pro series, Shaw's User and Nenad are level pegged. The ballast, just for clarification, is based off the overall driving positions. That's the league we just looked at. It's not based off the series championship. So Shaw's Users and Nenad are level pegged on 184. Stu Neal is third here on 181. There is nothing to separate those three at the moment. It could go any which way. Jean Petrus fourth, Flack is fifth, Butcher, Trebek, Bojan, and then T-Joke in ninth. In the Pro-Am series, Van Skeppen has extended his lead ever so slightly, but he now has ballast on board. That is going to hurt him. Nick Papadim, has been second for the entire point, same as Van Skeppen, 204. Nicky is back into third now. He actually overtook Boki, and Boki's now down to fifth. Opalik is in fourth. Ashbourne is in sixth from Craig Deeks, from Gili from Bullen. The Am series, George Relitas has actually extended his lead. He's now on par to possibly get himself the race victory. The Am Series Championship, he can secure that technically at the end of these three races, but the way Smith and Kirby are driving recently, I don't think that's possible. Then you have Andrea from Neil, from JC, from Andy Foster, Rob South, and from Manwan. Yeah, it's Man and then what? Marwan. I think it's Marwan. He actually told me how to say his name properly because I completely butchered it the last time out. Yeah, it's Marwan. So you say Marwan. And that's brings up ninth. Thank you very much for letting me know how to actually say your name, considering I've butchered it for a very long time. And that's how it stands up. So we're going to back over. I will be here for the entirety of the race. The entirety of the practice sessions at the moment. So we have about a 1 minute 40 left of the practice session. T-Joke is currently fastest. There's only 22 drivers have set a competitive lap time at the moment. That will be important as it goes through. It's 28 drivers, which means we will be reversing the grid at 18, as Opalik just goes fastest. He's currently first on a 152. I don't think the 152 is going to be the fastest time. I'm predicting you could see a 149. 3 seconds faster. A lot of these drivers at the moment, we don't know what fuel loads they're running on, and we don't particularly understand how they've prepared their tyres yet. So the math is saying me there's a 149.9 here, but it's going to be a tall order to push it because the top guys who can achieve that, they're all carrying ballast. You never know. Somebody might put a surprise. Someone might put a surprise in somewhere, and we might see that. But that's how it stacks up with 42 seconds remaining. It will be a practice session. We have the practice session. Then we have 15 minutes of qualifying. It's open qualifying. That is important here. Because of the slipstream the car in front can provide, this is where I was talking about last week. The likes of Stu Neal, Shaw's User, and Nenad are all going to need teammates. One of those three, I think, are going to win the championship. Which one, I do not know. Jean Petra, he's also an outside chance here. He was third going into last week. He's now back to fourth in the championship. His top three rivals here don't have the optimal car. That Lincoln Co. is fast. It's mighty fast when you get into third and fourth. So that's going to be challenging. MB Sim Racing, nice to see you saying evening. That's Mike Bullen, if you are wondering. He is currently 18th fastest. He's 2.56 off fastest at the moment. Mike is saying a 151.8 is what he reckons. Which it could be, I don't know if that's a 151.8 point for him or total. It could be. Ballast is a big factor here. We don't know the slipstreams. If we're going to see slipstreaming, it's going to be very, very tricky, I think. But maybe Mike will join us between the races. You never know. As they all start, there goes Mike Bullen. He's just gone out. He's in the Mike Bullen's in the 88. He's actually at the back waiting right. First driver. Let's have a look at the sector times. Well, I would, but SimHub has decided to crash, which is very helpful. It's going to be a challenge for them, and anybody who is carrying ballast, I think their biggest problem is that they're going to have to find somebody who can basically be their front gunner. If they don't have a front gunner, I don't think realistically we're going to see anything special from them. I just don't think it's possible. I just really don't think it's possible. Well, at the moment, that's not even loading. So we're going to have to go old school with this. So I believe Shaw's User is one of the first drivers through the field. He is. Yeah, SimHub has completely crashed. So we'll just leave it as is for now. So Shaw's User is going to be the first going through this section at the moment. We're going to find out. There we go. It's up and running. Good, good, good. We are back up and running. So he's in the Apex Predators. He doesn't actually have an official teammate. So he's on his own. He is first driver in that sector, which is car 5. Right behind him is car number 26, which is Nenad. So the two championship rivals are neck and neck. Car 4, Van Skeppen's right behind. We're going to stick with Shaw's User on the auto commentary. I guess on it. So we're going to stick with Shaw's User, see what he can do through here into turn 1. They're going to have to put a banker in. It's only a 12.54 remaining of the practice station. Turn 1, he's bounced across the curb. That will cost him time, but don't forget, he is carrying the least ballast out of all the nearest championship rivals to him. So he has a... he's running around, I can't remember what it is, like 56 kilograms on board that car. So he has... No, it's not. It's 57 kilograms on board that car. So he's going to get fastest time in Sector 1. What's Nenad doing? Nenad is right behind him as we ride on board now with Nenad. Nenad in that first sector has done nothing impressive. He's a 27.0. Fastest currently in that sector is Shaw's User, still holding that first sector, 26.811. Nobody is faster than Shaw's User in this sector as he climbs up over the crest of the hill. Fast sweeping left-hander coming through now. 1 minute dead. He's a 33.2. He's miles ahead of everybody in that sector as he climbs up over the hill. This is a tricky little right-hander because the car becomes unstable as you go over the hill. So you get this lateral tree, which then causes the car to twitch a bit. But he's kept it under control as he comes up towards the last series of corners. It's a bank left, then it's 2 rights onto the straight again. Is this where he's going to be held up? Because he doesn't have the fastest car in that sector. At the moment, he's abandoned the lap. He's just abandoned the lap. So he's given up on that one. Nenad's going to come home, and at the moment, Nenad is faster than anybody because he's the first driver in the sector. As he climbs up over the crest of the hill, he will cross the line in a, well, he's going to be in the 152s here. Crosses the line, 153s. Everybody else is going faster. Everybody else is going faster. Bojan's gone faster. Jean-Petre has gone faster. 152.246. Third sector is Nicky. Nicky is on fire. Nicky's going to top 3 at the moment. Do I think that's going to last? I do not. 0.4 of a second off fastest at the moment. No, T-Jokes popped himself into 3rd. Into 9th. Goes Derek Neal. He won't hold that position for a while, but he will be happy with that. Nenad's going faster, 0.03 of a second faster in that sector. He's a 26.893, but he's been beaten. He's beaten by Jean-Petre. Jean-Petre, but he's getting a tow here. And this is what I was talking about. T-Joke's just gone fastest in Sector 2, but he's lost that sector, unfortunately, at the moment. Only 2 drivers. 1 down in 23, Kirby in 15th, not on the track, and Butcher. So there's 29 drivers starting at the moment. This is absolute nuts as it holds on. He's 0.06 of a second up at the moment. Question is, can he push this? At the moment, Bojan is going for it again. The question is, can he go holding on to it? Through the right-hander, needs to keep it nice and tidy now. Do no heroics. He's lost that sector. Bojan is on it. Bojan is on it. 26.8. He's got purple sector 1, purple sector 2. But T-Joke is fastest in sector 2 at 33.007. At the moment, Bojan is on target to put that car provisional pole position and extend that, what he's already done. There's the 96, there's Van Skeppen, goes any faster. Jean Petre goes into second, but he loses out to Bojan. Bojan has further extended that. There's Nicky. What can he do? Holds fifth, 0.5 of a second. We do have improvements for Man 1 in 13th. At the moment, that's a solid position there for Man 1. Now I've actually learned how to say his name properly. He's going to be super happy with that. He's down in 14th at the moment. I say he's down in 14th. He's up to 14th. But he's 2 seconds off the current lead. Where is George Rallitas? George Rallitas is up to 11th. He's got some real pace in that car at the moment. That is Craig Deeks in 12. He's actually in the number 34. He's in 12th position. He's 6/10 up in Sector 1. He's at a mighty Sector 1. Jean Petre setting them alight in Sector 2. Trebek's improved in Sector 1, 27.001. What's old Trebek doing? He's up into 6th position at the moment. He used to run around in the Renault, but now he absolutely loves that car. Jean Petre is, I think, setting the timing screw to light here. He's going. They're all going for another warm-up here. Antonio Nota know nothing about this driver at all. Privateer, never seen Antonio race in anything, so this is completely brand new for me. But he's driving, he's running around in a Honda, so that's pretty damn cool. He's 0.7 of a second up at the moment. Van Skeppen's just set fastest sector 2, 33.265. Best in sector 3 is a 52.152. Yeah, there is time to be had here. We're currently in the 152.1s. Mike predicting a 151.8. Is possible. What can Antonio do? He hasn't set a time yet. He's 1.2 seconds up, so at this current pace, he'll put himself, predicting is position 16. Bullen and Kirby and Butcher are all in the pits. What can Antonio do? Nobody's really going faster at the moment. A lot of drivers are out there. It looks like they're preparing themselves for their lap as we ride on board now with Antonio. What can Antonio do here as he comes up over the crest of the hills? He will be, looks 16th to 17th. Right next to Manuel, puts himself 17th. Right behind Man 1. That's where he puts himself. Man 1 is not really improving in these sectors at the moment. He's 0.8 of a second up. Well, he is improving at the moment. I said he's not improving. He is. He's got a 33.633. But the board is saying invalid lap. So one says invalid, one doesn't. We're going to find out what can Man 1 do as he crosses the line. There's the 79. That looks like Bill Campion. Does not improve. Well, he does improve. He's in the 1.7s now, but he's right between Manuel and ahead of Antonio. Carl Smith, he's just coming out at the moment. And one Vlito. So we're just, I think it's one. Geo, one. De Souza. De Souza. We'll call you De Souza. I think De Souza's got some internet issues. Needs to keep it on the track. He's really struggling at the moment. He's in the Lada, which is I don't know, it's the Lada. Yeah, he's either his internet struggling or he's struggling. But again, we've all got to start somewhere, as we all remember. Hence why I don't race, because I'm that bad. T-Joke's up to second at the moment. He is going a little bit faster, 26.7, a 32.8. So T-Joke is absolutely flying in that little Peugeot 306. Got a great overrun. He goes pop, 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 pop on the overrun as he comes round now into the final set of corners. Riding on board with him now, that's the rear wing camera. We're still working on the other cameras. Through the right-hander he goes. He needs to keep this nice and tidy now. No heroics. Keep it planted firmly on the floor over the crest of the hill. This is where the Peugeot actually loses out to the other cars. It just doesn't have the get up and go when you get into that 4th and 5th gear. It's good and mighty in the small little corners. No poddy flack tonight, weirdly enough. So there's no poddy flack driving in tonight. Question is, what can he do from here? A 151.679. So he has put it on provisional pole position. So he's gone faster than Bojan. So, Butcher's come on. Butcher's saying it might be non-start for Butcher because pedals are out. So, you Rust Butcher fans at home, I'm really, really sorry, but I don't think Butcher is running. So, let's have a look if anybody else is going faster. Oplik is improving. But is he improving enough? He was third fastest in practice session, and he's now down in 15th position. Butcher's rejoined, but he's having issues, so I'm not sure if Butcher's really going to be able to set a time. So I think it's going to be very difficult for him to do anything from this sector. Oplik's got a 109. A lot of the top runners, I believe, out of 321 are going to be struggling. So 25 cars, we're up to P18, so we will be reversing 18 cars on this grid. Mike Bullen's currently in 24th. At this current rate, he will improve himself into top 11. Only top 20. But he has been out so far this season. He's only raced once, so he is a little bit off as it stands at the moment. There's Antonio, currently down in 18th position, 1.3. He's 2.4 now off fastest lap time. It's his T-Joke, which is 0.4 of a second ahead of anybody. Unless they're really out on track, this, I believe, is going to be where it is. Yushur's Yusa fans, he's currently down in 3rd. Where's Nenad? Nenad's in 12th. Nenad's all the way down in 12th position, but the other, Stu Neal's in 28th. So Stu Neal has not set a competitive lap. He's down in 21st. He's got Van Skeppen behind him, who's gone off into the drink, and Shaw's User was giving him a tow. I think Stu Neal is on damage limitation this evening, to be perfectly honest. This is Opalik, currently in 8th position at the moment. 0.4 off. He needs to keep this pace up. He's currently losing 0.3 in that sector. He needs to keep this pace up. He can get himself into top 5 predicted. It is slowly slipping down now to 6th and 7th. Nicky's going to be happy because he's in 6th position, but his nearest rival, which is Van Skeppen. Where's Van Skeppen? He's in 5th. So Van Skeppen's currently in 5th position at the moment. And where is Boki? Boki's in 14th, so that, I think they're kind of holding station. Nick Papadim's 13th, so at the moment, yeah, unless they're on a lap, I think that's it. Unless they're currently out on a lap, this will be, I believe, what we're seeing. George Rallytas has just found absolute rapid pace in the closing section of this season. Matika is down in 11th at the moment. Matika's actually out on track. I know nothing about Matika. Danielle, we'll just call him Danielle. Know absolutely nothing about Danielle at all. Never seen the person drive or race in any other league, so that's going to be interesting to see. Doing a solid job for the first outing in the TCRSL in 11th position at the moment. Nenad does improve there to 9th position, so the Nenad fans at home is up to 9th. Shaw's User is 3rd. There's Stu Neal in the back, and Stu Neal's going to struggle. But like he said last week out, he's struggling. Ashbourne returning from a little of a hiatus while he's been away. Currently 1.5 seconds off at the moment. Is he going to improve? I don't think he is. We'll see what happens through these closing sessions. But there is a provisional confirmation of results. Always say provisional because you never know what can happen. T-Joke is currently pole position sitter from Bojan, Shaw's, Opalik, Pascal, Van Skeppen from Nikita, from Craig, from Nenad, from Rallytas Trebek, Matika, from Papadim, from Manuel, from Boki, from Ashbourne, Neil and Bullen, from Antonio, from Manwan, from Andrea, from JC, from Carl, Andy, Derek, Martin, Bill, and De Souza. Brings up the entire 28 car field. Nothing for Butcher. Butcher did not set a competitive lap time. Right, they will have their 51 seconds of warm-up, and then they will go. I love that camera view. just something nice about that camera view. Put it on that, and then I'll probably nick the... Oh, it's just a great camera view. Oh, I love that camera view. Anyway, I think they're... Yeah, so they're all going out. If you're wondering what they're all up to, is they're basically all going out to practice starting, basically. That's what they're up to at the minute. They'll go and find themselves a little bit of track, and they'll go sit on it, basically. And that's what Jean-Petro was doing there. He was just getting the bike ready. We don't operate anti... basically, there's something in the game that you enable it, and it stops you from skipping the start. The problem with that is you essentially just ram the throttle on, put it into first and leave it, and then when the lights go green, you always get the perfect start. We don't run that system. It's not run in this league. We did run it for a while because there were some people who were... There were some things that were going on. That then changed, and now we don't run it. So if the driver doesn't have it set, they are unable to do it. So that's why they were all out practicing their sessions, practicing their... they had to go and basically practice what they were doing. It does change from time to time, but that's how it is. Right, we will have our minutes. We are actually missing a lot of the boxes here. Session information. There we go. Formation, and then we also need logo overlay and standings, and that table should then pop in a minute. Yeah, it's one of those, really. Right, if you're new to us, this is the Tcsrl Racing League. It's always sunny here. This is the Portimao circuit. It's the Grand Prix layout. It's basically Autodrome de Algarve, to put it in a better way. There will be 6 seconds, and then it will be lights out for race 1, as in here we go. So watch the board at the left. It's 15 minutes for race 1. They will pile into turn 1. Hold on to your horses. Get ready, because we are about to go racing. And it's lights out and away we go. And as they all steam into turn 1, the question is, who is going to be victorious? Russ Butcher out already. T-Joke has Bojan for company. Bojan's on the left, absolutely piling it up the inside. T-Joke loses a position. Van Skeppen is going backwards, absolutely losing it all over the place. Shaw's User is into third. They're all trying to get through into that turn 1. There's George Relitas in the background. He manages to hold on just enough, but it's absolutely nose to tail. There's contact in the background. The two ladders have come together of JC as he managed to keep it on the road just enough, and one JC has retired. It's coming up as a retirement. Bojan though is leading at the moment. He's right at the front, absolutely piling that pressure on as we ride on board now with Bojan. He is in second position. T-Joke has regained the lead, but right behind that Van Skeppen has Opalik, Nicky and Ninad for company. They are nose to tail riding on board with him now. He's in 6th position. There is 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. Trebek's trying to go up the inside there of Ninad. Ninad's just holding on to this enough. There's Nicky. Nicky's trying to keep it up the inside of Opalik. Trebek, though, doing all he needs to do. Nicky's putting on 2 wheels in the Honda. Nicky's that number 9. Trebek gets the position done. Nicky holding stations from Ninad. Nick Papadim has got Danielle for company. Danielle's on the left side. That is new to the league. Behind that, that's Boki. There's Stu Neals. Stu Neals up 3 places. He will be licking his chops with that at the moment. Question is, can he hold on to this? Manuel Alves has Mike Bullen for company. We're riding on board now with Mike Bullen. He's alongside Manuel. This is 19th and 18th position. He's sliding it through the right-hander, absolutely nose to tail, going through the right-hander. He's got to keep this absolutely planted all over the floor. On the back of Antonio's Honda now in 17th. There's Bullen on the left. There's Manuel on the right. They are trading sector times. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Is Bullen going to hold it? No, he isn't. Yes, he is. No, he isn't. He absolutely hits the brakes there. And that just staves off the attack for 5 more minutes. Right, we leave that battle and basically join the middle pack. This is Simon Trebek riding on board now with Trebek. He's got Nick Papadim for company. Nicky is going 3 wide with Danielle and Boki. There they are, right in the middle of the pack. Oh, there's contact, there's contact. There's contact. I cannot believe it. Daniel is going to be all over the road. He's out. No, he won't be out. He's going to restart the car. Gets it going just enough. Oh, that was one into the other. And I think he was the passenger in that, but we will have a look post-race. That's gifted Stu Neal another position. But his nearest rival is all the way in third, and he's attacking now on the back of Bojan. Bojan, don't forget, second position. Riding on board now with Shores Yusa. He's in third, and he's absolutely bringing it nose to tail. He's gaining. Shores Yusa has less ballast on board. He's third in the championship, don't forget. Race winner as well. So is Bojan. T-Joke just ahead, I believe, is searching for his first race victory. What can he do here through the right-hander? Down now we go into the long right-hander that basically is where he's got to keep this absolutely planted. As we get a ride on board with Bojan, he's absolutely doing all he needs to do. Victor de Souza has a slow down penalty. Bojan over the crest of the hill. He won't get through here. Ashbourne has George Rallitas for company. George Rallitas, what's he doing? He's absolutely giving it everything as we ride on board with him. He's just gaining. Ashbourne is ahead of that. Stu Neal, top of the league at the moment. Nenad is also trying to go up the inside, so is Boki. Boki's going to go around Nikita. Nikita's just run wide. He's letting him go. I think so Boki has mugged him. I said he's letting him go. He's completely mugged him, to be perfectly honest. Derek Neal and Martin Kirby are battling in the background. Keep an eye on that. But Ashbourne and Rallitas are battling 1 for 1. Nenad's on the back of Trebek. And so is Nick Papadim as they all pile into the hairpin at the bottom. At the moment, nobody going for a move here. They're all being sensible. I say that, but Nenad is up the inside there of Trebek. Papadim is right behind. Trebek to the left, Papadim to the right. It's 3 Sayats, nose to tail. Nenad cannot afford a mistake, cannot afford to fail. Can he get the job done? Can he go up 2 positions? He's holding it as best as he can as we ride over the crest of the hill. You can see there from Nenad's car, where you can see from Nenad's car now, you've got Papadim on the right in the 74. Trebek goes up the inside of Papadim, holds it just enough, closes the door. Nicky's gone off in the background. He sent it into the barrier. Or was that Antonio? No, they're all going off. So they've all had a mistake in the background. Papadim is still side by side with Trebek. Mike Bull and Derek Neal and Kirby are now all side to side. I'm not sure if one followed the other, or if there was a little touch from behind. We didn't see that on stream, but that's racing, as they say. The stewards can look that up themselves. Stu Neal there is side by side with Ashbourne through the right-hander we go. Ashbourne's in the 91. The 95 is Stu Neal. Stu Neal up 4, but he's going to lose that position. He's trying to gain the position here, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. They're all looking left, they're all looking right. George Rallitas right at the back here. He's gaining, but George is like, I do not want to hit the championship leader out. If I do that, I do not want to hit the overall driver out, because if I do, I've got a one-way ticket to nowhere. Nicky Grass was disqualified. What was he disqualified for? There we go. No idea. Doesn't come up on the board. He's come up as disqualified. Do feel for him. JC had 100% damage on the board. Right. Craig Deek is up to 5th. Didn't think I'd say that very soon. He's up 5th, and he's got Jean Petra right for company. Jean Petra's in 4th. We're riding on board with him now. There is Craig Deeks in the 34. His teammate, Russ Butcher, down in 27th at the moment. I'm not sure if Butcher's running around. He is, but he's miles behind. At the moment, Jean Petra has Craig Deeks for company. They've got to be careful. There's so many penalties coming up on the board. There's going to be a high disqualification rate because everybody's getting penalties. Oh, do you see Opalik giving it the large in the background? 2 wheels on wagon, but there's 4 on the tarmac. Sensational stuff at the moment. Right. We leave that battle and rejoin the Nenad battle. So Nenad's down in 8th position at the moment. Behind that, Trebek is in 9th. Papadim is in 10th. At the moment, T-Joke is 4/10 of a second up, leading on lap 4. Just coming up to half race distance. Anybody's game now on who I think for doing it. Nicky coming up on there has been disqualified for incident points. That's what the disqualification was for. Well, just sit there and come and join the action. Papadim is still on the back of Trebek. Trebek is in 10th position. We're riding on board now, but we leave that and rejoin the George Rallytas battle. He's in the 31. He's going to go up the inside of Stu Neal here. I think Stu has either got not a lot of there's a little bit of a contact there between those two. George should get that done. Yeah, he gets that done. I think Stu Neal is he's in damage limitation at the moment. As you see, Ashbourne and Boki going side by side. Ashbourne's on the right, Boki's on the left. And there they are. There's those penalties. They are racking them up. Who is going to go into the turn? Ashbourne should lose this. He's in the 91. Is he going to go for the old switcheroo out there? Hairpin he does, but he will be cruised. Well, he won't get the drive. He just won't get the drive. Papadim, Boki has just had a much better drive coming out there. This is Boki. There's Ashbourne. George Rallytas in the background. He's making progress, but not enough. Marwan, what's he doing from here? He's in 17th. He's got Antonio for company. Both out racing this time out through the left-hander. Needs to keep this nice and tidy now. He's in for a solid race position in 17th in the Lada. There's 3 Ladas currently racing so far in this series. Needs to keep it nice and tidy. He's got a very damaged car. It's coming up with damage on the board. So he's got damage and he's a lap down, same as Butcher. Martin Kirby there. They're down in 20th position at the moment. Right, Antonio and Marwan are right side by side. These two have been absolutely at it for the entire race. Marwan's on the left. Antonio is now back ahead where he started. Both drivers up 3 positions as we come down through the penultimate corner at the moment. Trebek has gone backwards. I say he's gone backwards. Trebek has gone in the pits. Why is Trebek in the pits? So Trebek's gone in the pits, but we're rejoining this battle at the moment. Derek Neal and Martin Kirby are side by side as we look at Marwan and Antonio. These two are fighting each other nose and tail as that battle fizzles out. Martin Kirby's battle fiddled out as well. Yeah, he had a bit too much of a bang. Right, let's rejoin the battle for 6th position. In 6 is Van Skeppen. In 7th position is Opalik. These two now are just doing company. That's that is Craig Deeks and Jean Petra in 4th and 5th just ahead. Those two have been company for the entirety of the race. We've lost Trebek on a DNF as well. And we've lost Matika on a DNF. JC Cameo's DNF, but in the pits. De Souza's still running. JC is DNF as well. So it is a tricky track, this one, but it is what it is. There is Opalik. He's in 7th position at the moment. He's fighting, trying to now get on the back of Van Skeppen. Less than 1/4 race distance to go. Question is, T-Joke's out front by 1 second. I think he's in management phase at the moment, as the rest of the drivers are nose to tail. Martin Kirby has caught up to the back of Derek Neal, and Carl Smith in that number 69 is licking his chops as we ride on board with him now. This is Carl Smith. Ahead of that is Andrea. Ahead of that is Kirby. Ahead of that is Derek Neal. As we ride on board with Derek Neal, it is Alfa Romeo versus Seat Cupra. The question is he going to get it done? Yes, he is. No, he isn't. Yes, he is. No, he isn't. Martin Kirby had the curse of the commentator. He loses a position when he's up 6, and now he's going to lose another one. No, he isn't, because he's got the inside line, crucially, and Carl Smith is going to have to settle to tuck up right behind him as they come back now onto the start-finish straight. Down the wrong right-hander we go, and then up onto the tabletop. Needs to keep this nice and tidy. Derek Neal riding on board with him now has Andrea. I've gone to the action shot. How's Andrea for company? There's Andrea right next to him, absolutely trying to do all he can do. Going up the inside, gets the car stopped. Does he get the car rotated? What? Derek Neal's put it on 2 wheels. He's absolutely sent that and manages to hold it, but he loses not 1 but 2 positions. He's not going to be happy with that. What I say is he's up 5 positions already. So he started 25th and he's now 20th. So and he's run wide. You can't be running wide. You're going to end up with a disqualification if you do that at the moment. Right, Mike Bullen has joined the Marwan and Antonio battle. It is Honda Lada at the moment. It is a 3-wide battle. You've got the yellow Lada, that's the car in the front. They're going to be contact, a little bit of a slide there. Ninad's holding it. Bullen has just slipped up the inside. He's absolutely loving that. He says, thank you very much. Now he's right in the middle of the field, right in the melee. He's got to be careful. He goes to the left corner, but he will not be on the outside. He tries to send it. He tries to send it. He's outbraked himself. He's had an accident by himself. He's not going to be happy with that. He got the car in through the gap and then just outbraked himself. He's going to rack up. Oh, there's contact. There's contact in the background between Antonio and Marwan. They've absolutely piled into each other. Mike Bullen said thank you very much. He's recovering and he will lose even more positions. Right, we leave that and rejoin the battle. So Craig Deek is going for a top 4 finish at the moment. Bojan is on the back of T-Joke as well. Does Craig Deeks get the car stopped? No, he doesn't. And John Petra is going to go up the inside, crucially into turn 2. John Petra sails it up the inside. Craig Deeks, there's a little bit of some messy contact there. Holds enough. Craig Deeks lets him retake the position. That's the only thing he could do there. And tucks up once again behind Jean Petra. And it's reset all over again. Andy Foster is fighting the back of Bill Campion. There's Andy Foster. This is the battle for 22nd and 23rd position at the moment. And Bill Campion in that 22 in the 99 is right ahead. Van Skeppen, slow down penalty, and he's got Opelick for company as well. That's kind of fizzled out. That's cost him dearly. Van Skeppen here could be losing out. He started 6th, he's still in 6th. Opelick didn't. He started 3 positions higher, and now he's down in 7th. So he started 4th and he's in 7th. Not going to be happy with that at the moment. T-Joke, is he going to join one more lap? I think it will be the last lap. Opelick is on the back of Van Skeppen. He's right on the back of Van Skeppen. He's forcing the issue here. He needs to be careful that they don't end up both disqualifying themselves. He's let the position. That's some great racing there from Opelick. He got the car stopped, realised that was going to be a penalty, I think, and just let the position take it back again. Well deserved there from him. Very, very well done. Right, where's T-Joke? T-Joke is actually going to cross the line, but is he going to do it in the next 3 seconds? He will take the provisional race victory. That's it. He's going to cross the line, and he's going to take a victory. He'll be absolutely licking his chops with that. He crosses the line. He takes the race victory. Bojan takes 2nd. Kept him honest. Shaw's Yusuf will be super chuffed. Super chuffed with 3rd position. We're watching Opelick attack the back of Van Skeppen. Just holds on. Simon Ashbourne will come home in 10th position. The rest of the field is still battling. Andrea, down in 17th, was kind of in no man's land for the entirety of the race, has now caught the back of Marwan. Marwan is going to bring her car home in 16th. Mike Bullen there in the 88. There goes Marwan. He's doing it, and the game has a right old thing in the background. And takes that position. That is Martin Kirby in 20th. Has about a right old bing dong he has for the entirety of the race. There's Andy Foster bringing the car home in 23rd position. Ahead of him is Bill Campion. De Souza in the Lada. Butcher is right behind him. JC is in the Abyss. I think Butcher's got some serious problems at the moment. There is De Souza. I'm not sure if that. I think he's struggling. Not quite sure what's happening with him at the moment, but he's bringing the car home. And as I always say, you have to start somewhere. And it's a good league to start in because you get put where you should be put, which is quite nice. He's down in 24th at the moment. He will bring the car home for his first finish of in the Tcsrl season as he comes up over the tabletop into 24th position. He goes and crosses the line. In 24th position. There's Butcher, who will bring the car home in 25th. Trebek was a DNF. I don't know why I got a DNF. So there is confirmation of your provisional race 1 results. T-Joke from Boki, from Shaw's User, from Jean Petra, from Craig Deeks, from Van Skeppen, from Opelick, from Ninad, Papadim, Ashbourne, Boki, Ralitas, Neil, Alves, Bullen, Marwan, Andreas Smith, Derek, Neil, Kirby, Antonio, Bill Campion, Andy Foster, De Souza, and then Butcher in 25th, and then Trebek is a DNF. Danielle is a DNF. JC Cameo is in the abyss, and Nikki had a disqualification due to incident points. And that's how it stacks up. Bojan, confirmation there that he was fastest lap. So we will not see, well, we could see TCRSL history. Again, I've been saying that for quite a while, so we might see it, we might not. It's going to be interesting to see how that stacks up. Right, let's get over to... Let's have a look. So JC coming on there. I was between two cars, so death was instant. Something broke. We'll see in the next race if it was car or wheel. So it was in there, basically. As always, like I like to say on stream, is that there are always multiple views and multiple angles. And I don't know why I'm looking at the camera, because you can't actually see me. But you should be able to see me now. Yes. Hello and welcome. As you can see, we are live, and I tend to do this as I have it. There we go. Welcome back to the commentary box. The beard is a bit longer, which is nice. We'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds. Right, so if you are new to the stream and you're new to wonder what we're going, so because the way that we run, the way that the league is run, race 3 is a reverse grid, but it's all dependent on how many cars there are. Because we have 28 cars in tonight, we are at the maximum reverse grid, which is position 18, which can be up to position 18. So anywhere up to 9 is confirmed. So position 9 will automatically be reversed. Anywhere from 9 to 18 is a gamble. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to do it live on stream. And we will see where they're going to reverse it. And it is going to be position 14. So 14 puts Manuel Alves on pole position right next to Stu Neal. Stu Neal has a real opportunity here. Stu Neal has a real opportunity. So as always, I need to do this live. There we go. So there we go. Right. I'll keep an eye on the stream as it unfolds. We'll go back across to the solo, and then we need to go to the new... that one. There we go. And then we go into the new grid. Right. As always, I can see quite a few on chat on there, so come and say hi. We are a friendly bunch. As always, please like and subscribe. And share as well. Share with all your friends. We are a very friendly bunch. It's really, really good to share it. Share in the wealth. Right. As that loads itself in, lots and lots of talking points in there for race 1 for me personally. The big one I want to look at, actually, there's nobody in the driver's box at the minute, so let's load up the instant replay. And we're going to have a look to see, because I did get something here. We need to go into... We are live, and as always, with live things can happen. That's what I want. So let's have a quick look over here. Simon Trebek was going to write something, and then he retracted his message. As always, if you are going to write a comment, please keep it clean, and please don't go pointing fingers in the stream. That's what the stewards are for. Right, let's go across to the analyzer and let's have a look. So I think I did get this. Failed to serve a slowdown. There we go. So for you Simon Trebek fans, he failed to serve the slowdown penalty. And that's why he was in the pits. Real shame there. Race winner last time out, race 3. It is what it is. That's how it is sometimes. Right. Let's have a see if there's any drivers in the chat. If not, we will go across to the analyzer. So Stu Neal's in there, actually. Right. Let's go across to Stu Neal, and we'll have a look at that post-race. As always, we have to try and get in here because, systems and everything. Right, let's see if I can actually get into this now.
There we go. Yes. It's up and running, so it finally works. As always, like I say, we are a live show, so things happen. I am a one-man band. I have to do everything myself. Right. First of all, I'm going to have a quick chat. So we've got Mike Bullen with us, and we've got Stu Neal with us, and we've got about 7 minutes. So first of all, I'm going to have a quick chat with Stu Neal. Obviously, he's winning the overall Drivers' Championship at the moment. He's level pegged with Nenad, but because he's had more race victories, he takes the maximum balance of 70 kilos on board that car. Stu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Fantastic. Two things I want to start off with. First of all, you're starting on the front row for race 3.
I know what result that is.
And there is quite a big field behind you. So are you hopeful that you can make a big enough gap in the first 7 minutes to try and then... Because I get the feeling from race 1, you're not fast with that on, but this is not a track to have ballast at.
It's definitely not a track to have ballast at all. No, it's an absolute nightmare. I struggled in quali and I did about as best as I could have done, to be fair. That was the fastest I managed in the end because I just kept getting track limits. So I got there in the end, but that was the best I could manage. And then in the race, I made quite a few positions from the start, and then there was a few people had an off. I think Simon Trebek got a drive through, so obviously I gained a position out of that. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to the next race or race 3, to be honest. I will just get swamped in race 3. Unless I get really lucky, I will just get swamped.
So I get the feeling that this is purely a damage. From what we talked about last week, this week is purely damage limitation now.
100%, yeah.
Because, you're just in the middle of nowhere. But so is Nenad. Nenad's in the middle of nowhere.
Well, he got 8th though, didn't he? So
yes.
He's made something of it. Shaw's is amazing with 3rd. Fair play to him. Because I'm nowhere near that pace. So yeah, the 70 kilos, people just drive. You could see them just driving away from me. I was catching them up in the corners and was faster through some corners than the guys in front of me. But yeah, they just put their foot down and they're gone.
It's game over. So quickly, just obviously race 2, we're just talking about purely damage limitations. So is this a case of now you just I don't say try and stay out of trouble, but there's 29 drivers. I think it's the most that we've ever had.
Yeah, and it's a lot, isn't it?
It's a wide track, which is good, but I mean that must be extreme pressure, especially now that you're towards you are leading one championship and you're 3rd in the series championship as well. I mean, you can't really afford a DNF or a disqualification.
No, definitely not. I will. I'm just going to try and stay out of trouble as best I can. And as you say, it's just damage limitation. Just finish the races.
Well, good luck. And hopefully I'll talk to you after race 2 and hopefully after race 3. Good luck for the next set of races. Right, we're going to cross to Mike Bullen now. He's driving the Honda. It's the number 88. He's actually got a picture. He did have a picture. Where's he gone? Can you hear me, Mike?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you anymore. So you've gone.
Yeah, I think my...
Oh, I've lost you again. We had him, and then we didn't have him. Can you hear me, Mike?
You got me?
Yes, I've got you a little bit. There he is.
Yeah,
I can actually see you now as well. Hello. Right. Right. So that must obviously coming back after a break as well. That looked manic from where you were. I mean, there was lots of cars, and then there was the. There were a couple of instances. I think it was twice I saw you going off at the same corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great track to come back to because I know it well, but not a great track to come back to when you've had a few weeks off. So there was there's quite a few braking zones, and I think you mentioned it in your comms where you're sort of on the bumps and. Particularly when you're on the top of the hill. So if you get it slightly wrong, you just lock up and off you go. So, but great battles with the guys. Nice, fair, clean racing, really good fun. I've not raced against a lot of them before because a lot of them are new. So, really good fun. Just enjoying it. having a good laugh.
So obviously 2 minutes to go, 2:47. I mean, it must be. I mean, I've talked about it with. I think I've talked about it briefly before, but I've talked about it with the other guys during, well, obviously, with your break. It's so close now in terms of the field that there's a battle everywhere you go. So even if you fall off the track or make a mistake, you're coming back into another battle.
Exactly that.
I mean, how is that for you? Because obviously it's manic. To be honest, it looks mad.
But it keeps it interesting because, before you'd make a mistake and then you'd travel around on your own for 10 minutes because there'd be no one there. Whereas I battled my way up to 15th and then I made the first mistake at the top of the hill. That dropped me down to 19th. And then I had the battles that you saw then with the two guys in front making contact. So at least I still had battles to have. So it's a good thing. It's a great close field. But if you do make a mistake, you can still come back on and battle your way through and enjoy the battles with everyone. And the racing's always really fair this season, so all good.
So, race 2, obviously with a minute 35 to go. Race 2, is it again just a simple case of just put the car in, see where I finish, and just go from there?
Yeah. I mean, I've missed more than I wanted to this season for various reasons, but yeah, it is. I'm just enjoying it. Just getting the feelers ready for next season now. The last season in these before we perhaps move over to the Super Tourers. So
yeah, I think it was Super Tourers series season 9, and next season is still these. Just keep getting back into the rhythm now of this week and next week, and then get ready for season 8. Well, good luck. Hopefully, I will talk to you. Hopefully, I'll talk to you after next season, next race. Oops.
See you in a bit.
I'll see you in a bit. Good luck, and go from there. So. As always, it's always nice to talk to the drivers. As we say, we like to keep everything clean on stream as well. We are a child-friendly stream, so that's why anyone joining the stream, we always have to, we always ask them to be polite and courteous. Right, we'll go back across the main feed. Let's have a little look on here. Slider UK, nice to see you again. He's saying hello all on stream. Nice to see you again. Not seen you for a while. Simon Trebek, there he goes. As I said before, he failed to serve his slowdown penalty, and that cost him dearly. And it's just how it is sometimes. The problem is you can't afford to have... You just can't afford to have a failure. You can't afford little things like that because the field is so close and they're finishing within now around, 10 seconds from first to last. So, you're going to struggle. You have to be careful. But that's the way it is. We're actually down to 26 drivers at the moment, and I suspect that's what we'll see for the rest of the evening. But the grid will still be reversed to 18. That's already done, so that does not change. It could benefit those further ahead, and it could benefit those from further behind. So there is a warm-up lap. So if you're just joining us, this is race 2 of the TCRSL Racing League. I am your commentator. That's me. My beard was shorter then. My beard is in winter mode, so it is longer. We are at the Algarve International Aerodrome, or Aerodrome International Algarve, and it's the Portimao circuit. It's that one that we run at. If you have ballast, it's not where you want to be, as it stands at the moment. So they'll all go out, 26 seconds to go, then we will have the 1 minute formation lap. They don't really do a formation lap, it's just as everyone gets ready, and then it will count down, and then we will go off for lights out. They've changed that within the game itself. Why? I don't know. Someone's asked me a question. Why have they changed it? Well, I have no idea. It's part of an update that they've done. It's changed it. It is what it is. But you just have to hold station and go from there. So, where am I putting my money? I'm putting my money on T-Joke for race 2 because he was just fast. And I also think he was managing the tyres as well. Shaw's User was in third. He was on it. Those top 3 were all over it right at the end. This is the 1 minute formation lap, and then we will go into the second race of the evening. For some reason the game now I just give up, to be honest. So they're all loading up onto screen. They've reset it, so we'll actually see it happen as it unfolds. They will get 40 seconds remaining until we go through. The question is
Is it going to be T-Joke to do another race of victory? It's going to be interesting to see. Do I think he's going to do it? Well, after that first set of races, and we could get another double. So at the moment, we are on a constant double race victory. So here we go. It's 26 drivers at the moment. Shaw's User is in third. Bojan's in second. And T-Joke is in third. Is they going to be victorious? Are they going to take the race victory? You will see now. Lights out and away we go into turn one. And Nicky hasn't started. Server connection issues. I feel sorry for him, but that's how it is sometimes. T-Joke is going to be on the outside into turn one. That's not where he wants to be. He's got to close that door quickly and sharply if he wants to keep the fast moving Bojan behind him. Bojan is in second position. He's lost it. Bojan has just held on. Shaw's User is right behind him. Jean Petra gives him a little love tap, and Craig Deeks all over it. Carl Smith is spun round, so that's not going to be big good news at the moment. But there's Mike Bullen in the background as well. But Shaw's User has Pascal and T. Oh, there's contact. Craig Deeks has tagged the back of it. Papa Dim's had an accident as well. They're all having a little bit of a love tap into the back, into the hairpin. The big loser out of that is Boki. Boki's down 4. At the moment, Stu Neal is another winner. He's up 2 positions. At the moment, Craig Deeks up into 3rd position. As he stands at the moment, Shaw's User is right behind him. Jean Petra, followed by Ninad. Ninad's from 8th into 6th he goes. There's Ninad. At the moment, he's going to be wanting to extend his championship lead as he gets through at the moment. Well, he's in 2nd position, but he'll be in 1st going at this rate. He says he's outbraked himself. He takes a different line through there. So he leaves the door open, but that's it. Simon Ashbourne is on the back of Stu Neal. There's Stu Neal. There's Mike Bullen. There is Derek Neal. He's up 5 places. Derek Neal's up in 14th position at the moment. There he is. Right behind him is Boki. Trebek and Andrea are going side by side. There's Andrea at the moment in No Brakes Racing. Riding on board with him as the commentator's curse has come down and struck him, and that's really hurt him. Marwan is right on the back of Danielle. There's what he can do from here. He's absolutely holding station at the moment. Kirby and Smith are fighting each other. There's Marwan in the number 30. Lada, this is Matika in the number 20. He's given it all he can give. Boki and Derek Neal are fighting each other as well as they all come into turn 1. There's Derek Neal on the right. Oh, he's had an accident all by himself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boki couldn't get the car stopped or rotated, and he's had an accident by himself. And that's cost him dearly. At the moment, he's rejoined right next to Bill Campion. That should be a done deal. Butcher is on the back of Bullen. I say he's on the back of Bullen. He's side by side with Mike Bullen. Butcher's on the left. He's in the 933. There's Bullen going through the right-hander. Craig Deeks has been passed by Shaw's User as we were watching Mike Bullen getting hung up behind Derek Neal with Russ Butcher for company, and Trebek, who had to serve that slowdown penalty. He is in 17th position. Ahead of him is 16th, 15th, 14th and 13th as we ride on board now from Derek Neal, and you can see there, this is Derek Neal. There's Mike Bullen. That 33 is Russ Butcher. He won't have the inside. He's going to have to tuck up behind Bullen in the Honda. That's the 88. That's the blue one. As Bullen goes, Bullen takes a different line through there from everybody else. He goes in tight, swings to the left and then back to the right. Everyone else takes a different line, but that seems to be serving him well now. He's on the back of Derek Neal. Boki has passed Martin Kirby in the background. Butcher is going to go around the outside of Mike. Well, he's going to go around the outside of Mike Bullen. Derek Neal, he's holding on the 2, 3 into 1, does not go. Butcher's managed to get up the inside of Mike. Butcher is right on the back of Derek Neal. As you ride on board here with Butcher, there's Trebek in the mirror. Where's Bullen? Bullen's behind him. Bullen's just had to step out of it ever so slightly. Right, Craig Deeks is on the side of Shaw's User. Well, he's gone up the inside here. That's not going to work through there. Craig Deeks was trying to give him a little bit cheeky there, but it is what it is. Right, Stu Neal's on the back of Ashbourne. I say he's on the back of Ashbourne. He's side by side with Ashbourne. The 95 is Ashbourne. The 91 is that's Neal on the left. Ashbourne has been passed. Right, we'll rejoin the Butcher. Manuel is in 13th. There he is. He's on his own. Highest finishing position so far. Stu Neal hasn't given up on getting past Ashbourne. Boki is 17 and DNF'd. At the moment, Simon is trying to get past Ashbourne, but that's just not going to work. And he holds that position just enough. Through the right-hander he goes. Needs to keep it nice and tidy. Riding on board now with Ashbourne. He's in 12th position. Stu Neal is in 11th, don't forget. Championship leader overall. 3rd in his category. Ashbourne is in the middle of his category. He's just trying to get some good results, some good positions here, and he's giving it everything here. Opelик has passed Van Skeppen in the background. At the moment, I say that, Van Skeppen's coming back. Van Skeppen's in the 88 Thrustmaster. He's absolutely turned the wick up. Behind that is Papa Dim. There's Papa Dim. He's joining this party as well. At the moment, it is a 4-way battle headed up by Van Skeppen with George Relitas in the little Alfa Romeo up in 8th position. Absolutely stellar result there from George. Riding on board now from the rear wing. There's Opelик. You've got the AM series, Pro-Ams, and the Pros mixing it up in one big battle. The question is, who is going to be victorious as we ride on board now with Stu Neal? He's just at the back of this as we ride on board with Papa Dim, and he's gaining and he's gaining and he's gaining, but he's not gaining enough. Opelik's going to try to sell the dummy to Rallytas, but he tries to. Rallytas breaks just a little bit sooner. Right, we leave that battle and rejoin the battle for Derek Neal. Derek Neal's going to get passed here by Andrea. Does Marwan do it? No, he doesn't. It's Lada versus Renault versus Alfa Romeo. 3 different nationalities, 3 different manufacturers. Absolutely nose to tail, giving it everything at the moment. Butcher's got past Manuel. Manuel started 14th and he's back in 14th. He will be happy with that. Trebek is on the back here of Bullen. Bullen's in 15th position in that 88. He's left the door a little bit open there. But crucially, he will be on the outside into the next left-hander, but on the inside to the next series of corners. Trebek just won't be able to hang it now. He can't. He has to slot up behind. Riding on board now with Bullen as we go through the right-hander and up over this crest of the hill. This is where Trebek is just mighty. He just has much better drive coming out of that corner. But Trebek's on the inside. Bullen will crucially have the outside. The inside. Trebek's made a mistake. Bullen's made a mistake. That's cost Bullen. Again, that little corner is just causing him all sorts of hawky-walkiness at the moment, and that's cost him that little mistake. He will not be happy with that, but that's how it is. Derek Neal has finally got past, Marwan has finally got past Derek Neal. These two have been battling for the entirety of the race, and it's I say that, but we're about to go down into the start-finish straight. I think it's going to be reset all over again as we ride from the rear here of Marwan. He's in 18th position, that in a 19th position. That's Derek Neal, and he's gaining, but he's not gaining enough at the moment. Simon Ashbourne, as we flopped the Simon Ashbourne battle, has got past it. There's the 33, that's Russ Butcher. Butcher's going to have to be careful. He's had some brake issues, and he doesn't want to sail it up the inside and cost Stu Neal that position, and also the possibility of not finishing. That's going to be tricky at the moment as they come through the long right-hander. Butcher should have the drive here. Butcher should get this done. Mike Bullen, slow down penalty. Marwan finally passed Derek Neal in the background. Butcher's going to go up the inside to the hairpin. He gets the car stopped just enough, and he's kept his foot planted, but he's let Stu Neal retake the position. That is, again, great racing etiquette there from Russ Butcher. Well done, tick the box. Through the right-hander we go. There's Manuel in the background. He's having a storming race. 14th, and he could finish 14th as well. He's in the number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th car in the background there. Riding on board with him now. And just ahead of him, that's the Butcher, Neal, and Ashbourne battle. These 5 have now all just got stuck. And there's Trebek and Butcher. And Bullen is also catching the back of this. As that unfolds. Right, Danielle and Foster have run each other off the road, and that's allowed Kirby to go up the inside there. with Matika. Matika's struggling, I think, a little bit as well. But again, he's new to the league, and he takes a little time to get used to and adapted to the 2x tyre wear, and also to the 30 instant points. That is a big, big struggle. Boki's DNF, no idea why, he's just a DNF. Right, Shaw's user is once again on the back of Craig Deeks. It's 5 minutes to go of race 2. Through the right-hander we go. Craig Deeks is the 34. There's Shaw's user, championship leader at the moment. He's going to be he's not championship leader, sorry. He's third in the overall, but he's third in the other one. So he's going to have to really put something up, do something special here at the moment. Craig Deeks is doing a stellar job defending because Shaw's user isn't going to do anything silly. He's in a winning position. The problem he's got is he goes up the inside. He can't afford to have any DNFs over pointage either, because that's just going to cost him a huge amount of time and a huge amount of points after last week. So Stu Neal has finally been passed by Trebek. Saw that off stream. So Trebek has passed him. So has Butcher. But we're watching the battle for third at the moment. There is Jean Petra in the Lincoln Co. up the inside, which will be the outside into the next corner. The question is he going to try to do something special here? No, he isn't. He's going to try and do all he can as we ride on board with him now. Through the left-hander we go. Needs to keep this nice and tidy. He's in 5th position. Shaw's user just ahead. In 4th, race winner, Jean Petra. Race winner. Craig Deeks, not a race winner. Craig Deeks has been 3rd at one point, but he has not been top of the tree, so he's going to want to get there. Carl Smith is a DNF. Not disqualified, did not finish. Slightly different. Through the right-hander. Has he gone into the stratosphere? Yes, he has. So he has gone off into the abyss, which is why we had the gain jump at the moment. But Trebek in 13th is applying the pressure now to the back of Butcher. Butcher in that 33. Trebek in the 27. Renault versus Seat. Butcher doesn't have the confidence in the brakes at the moment. That's what he said when he sent me a message. He's struggling with the brakes. And as a result, he's just not prepared to try and stove it up the inside of someone and get the car stopped or rotated. Trebek is a little bit more clever there. He's just said, no, I'm just going to sit behind you and hold station. Craig Deeks is still holding everybody up at the moment. We'll rejoin that battle. There's Van Skeppen and the rest of them. Jean Petra is trying to sell Shaw's a dummy, but Shaw's and Jean Petra have raced together for a very long time. Opelick has centered up the inside there of Van Skeppen. Van Skeppen's in the 88. The 79 on the left side is Opelick. Ninad is just there's Ninad in the 96. He's just in no man's land at the moment. He's not gaining, but he's not losing. He's in 6th and he's holding station, which he needs to do really. He's up 2, started 8th, wants a 6th position. That will be good for him into the final round as it unfolds. As we ride now from the rear camera of Van Skeppen. He's in 7th, don't forget. Right behind that is Opelick. Behind that is Nick Papadim. There's Papadim in the 74. Race winner for Papadim as well. So Papadim knows how to do race victories. But at the moment, 3rd to 9th are all kind of just bunching up in the final 2 laps of this race. T-Joke's out front by 1.3 seconds, so he's broken the toe. T-Joke is on his own now. He's absolutely just clocked out at the front, and he'll run away with this, I think. Butcher's on the back of Trebek. That's not going to really fizzle out. Shaw's user at the moment is just holding station here with Jean Petra. Jean Petra in that number 12. He is the 1-2-3rd car. He's the number 12. That's cyan blue one. Shaw's user is the 53. He's trying to go round as well. Van Skeppen is trying to break the toe of Opelick. That didn't work because Opelick is now right upside of him. Van Skeppen gives him the old wider nudge. And look at Papadim in the black and yellow Seat. He's gone up the inside. Gets the car stopped and rotated. But he will crucially be losing time now. He's just got to hang it up the inside, but Opelick has gone defensive there immediately. He's going to make and force Papadim to go round the outside into the hairpin. Papadim is going to try and hang this out as much as he can. That gap was always going to close. It's closed shut. He he goes back to where he started. Papadim started 9th, is still 9th. Van Skeppen lost 1. Ninad's up 2. Opelick lost 1. So at the moment, riding on board here from 7th place man, Van Skeppen. He's got Opalik and Papadim for company. Stu Neal's all the way down in 14th now, and he's got Manuel Alves for company. And he's absolutely on it. JC is side by side there with Kirby. Kirby's in the 77, JC is on the left side. Kirby and JC are going at it absolutely nose to tail. JC is just going to go around the outside. He wants a good result here in that little larder, gets it done. Kirby is going to try and hold it as best as he can. He's got the job done. JC takes 21st, but Kirby's coming back now with 7 seconds to go. This is the last lap, not this one. No, I think this is the one. No, there's one more lap to go. No, this is the last lap. It's only 8 laps. I thought it'd be a lot longer than that. Butchers and Trebek are battling each other. So, your race winner, which I didn't cover for the entirety of the race, as this battle, I believe, is unfold. This might be a mad dash for the line here. Trebek's going to have to go defensive into turn 1. If he doesn't, he's going to have to go defensive to the line. Does he get it done? Yes, he does. Takes that position. So T-Joke, who I didn't cover for the entirety of the race, takes another race victory. Bojan's second, Craig Deeks is third, Jules User is fourth, Pascal is fifth, Ninad is in fifth. That's a good result for him, because he just needs something. JC Cameo finally gets that position in 21st. He's up 5. He started 25th, and he's going to finish 21st. He will be proper happy with that. Andy Foster brings the car home in 23rd. Carl Smith is in the land of the barriers. So T-Joke is first, Bojan is second, Craig Deeks is third, Jules User is fourth, Jean Petra is fifth, Ninad is 6th, Van Skeppen is 7th, Opalik is 8th, Papadim is 9th, Rallytas is 10th, Ashbourne is 11th, you'll be happy with that, Trebek is in 12th, Butcher is 13th, Neil is 14th, Alves is 15th, Bullen is 16th, and Derea is 17th, Mar1 is 18th, Matika is 19th, Neil is 20th. JC's 21st, Kirby's 22nd, Foster's 23rd, Bill Campion is 24th, and Carl Smith 25th. DNF for Carl Smith, I'm afraid he's the guy flying around in the middle of nowhere, and Boki is 26th. Nikita, unfortunately, had a server connection issue, so hopefully he can get back in for the next race, because he's going to be starting... No, he's not on here. I thought he finished higher than that. Obviously not. Ah, no, some mistakes. There were some mistakes there. That's why. Okay, so they're going to go through the process of resetting the server, because they have to, because for the final race of the evening, they have to basically do a reverse grid. So if you are new to the stream, hello and welcome back to the commentary box. So for the third race, we have a reverse grid, and it's all done live on stream. We did that between races 1 and 2, and it's position 14, which means Manuel Alves will start first, Stu Neal will start second. As we saw in the post-race interviews between races 1 and 2, Stu Neal's objective here is pure and simple. Get past Manuel and build a big enough gap as quickly as possible in the first 7 minutes before everything starts to go off. He can hold his own for the first 7 minutes. After that, the ballast that he's carrying on board, which is 70 kilo, it just comes into force, and it just comes into force in a very bad way. The tyres overheat. You can't turn the car quick enough. The ballast is a big problem, and we do run 2 times tyre wear in the Tcsrl as well, which is it means that you can't just constantly push. You have to manage your tyres. So if all you do is qualifying laps, by about the 7th minute, usually halfway distance, your tyres are cooked. So what you often see in in the pro category is they will push hard for the first 5 minutes, cool them for the next 5, and then push hard in the following 5. Those drivers that have pushed hard for the first 10 minutes, they tend to slip off in the last 5. So there is a whole host of things to do there. Stu is going to need some help, but he hasn't got a rear gunner with him. He's got some rear gunners. Who can help Stu Neal? Nobody can help Stu Neal, really, because Rallytas is in a completely different category. The only other Apex Predator running at the moment is Shaw's User, and he's in direct battle competition with with Stu Neal, so he's not going to help him, really. Poddy Flack isn't racing tonight. which is a real shame because Poddy is one of the best defenders I've seen in the league. He has an ability to equally put his car in the right place and annoy everybody by putting his car in the right place. He's absolutely stellar at that, to be perfectly honest. That's who he needs at the moment, but he just doesn't have it. So I think Stu Neal is in with a shout here at the moment, but you've got Papa Dim in 9th. And you've got Boki, who can win races. He's in 11th as well. Ashbourne. I don't think Ashbourne is quick enough at the moment. He's a 153. Well, his fastest lap was a 153.1. Nenad could win this. If Nenad can get a good start, I'd put my money on Nenad. Oh, Papa Dim, yeah. There's 3 I would put it on. In Nenad, Papa Dim, or Neil is where I'd put my money. For, as you can tell, I've still got a cold. Yeah, my money would be on Neil, Papa Dim, or Nenad. That's where I'd put my money. But they have to have a good first lap. If they have a bad first lap, they're out of the game. Neil needs to pass Alves as quickly as possible. He needs to do that off the line. He will be on the inside and will have a much better drive. He's got to get that done. If he doesn't, then I think it will be game over for him, personally. We'll wait for that to load, and we'll go now across to the Discord chat.
And that's where I'd be putting my money. It's going to come down to those 3 and how they can manage those opening couple of laps, because being in position 2 sets you up, but you've got to get a good start. Now the problem is that Papa Dim has a lot less race. He can win races, but his consistency lacks. If he gets stuck, he's at it. Nenad has got a lot to lose here. And Nenad traditionally isn't strongest in race 3. Statistically, it's his weakest race. But his nearest other championship rival, realistically, Shaw's User, is miles back. And he won't go through that quick enough. So that's going to be interesting to see, I think. Right, we've gone back across to the driver stream again, as always. So we've got Stu Neal with us. Obviously, talk to him between races 1 and 2. Can you hear me, Stu?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know if you heard what I was talking about there, but obviously my predictions for race 3. I don't know.
Don't put your money on me.
But I don't know if you're in the same situation. It's that case at the moment that you've got to clear Alves effectively in the first couple of corners, and then make as big a gap as possible. Because if you don't, and you get stuck behind him, or for some reason end up in the field, Papa Dim and Nenad have a real opportunity.
Yeah, I need to try and get away, but I don't know. Well, I don't think I've got the pace to. I mean, I seem to keep him behind me in the last couple of races. I think he was catching me towards the end, but yeah, if I can just get the jump on him and try and get away, but I don't think I've got the pace with this 70 kilos to be able to stay ahead. So I think I'll get swamped at some point. I'll be lucky to get top 10, I think, at the end of this race.
And if that's the case, is that just now, will it be purely, as we said before, with races 2 and 3, damage limitation is do not get a disqualification?
100%, yeah. Hopefully I'll be all right, touch wood, because I'm not having to come through anyone. It's just whether anybody comes through me and hits me on the way through. So, yeah.
I mean, as we've seen before, as we've talked in previous between previous races through the season, it's very tricky because you leave the door open for someone to go through, but you're going to lose 2, 3, 4, 5 positions.
Yeah, because they're always all close together, and there will be a train waiting to come through. So, yeah, if I make a mistake, or yeah, they're coming through, lots of them.
So this is, like we said before, it's purely damage limitation now. It's just,
yeah.
There's a lot to lose now, because obviously you're top of one championship, you're third in the other, correctly, yeah, third in the other, but you're not third by a lot. You know, this is, you know, it's effectively a 3-horse race now to the end of the season.
Yes, but I mean, the only thing I'm hoping is that they won't have too many points ahead of me, and I'll be 4th or 5th, which means for the final race I'll be on less ballast. And then So I'll have to try and turn it around at Brands GP.
And then will it be, because I remember going back when Poddy, I think it was defending from you was it you and Butcher or a bunch of people at Brands Hatch in a previous season? And either a previous season or in Trip 6 Motorsport, and he basically blocked the entire race. So, is it going to be a case of, at Brands, because that's a tricky track, that one. But also, mistakes are costly there.
Yeah, my main issue at Brands is track limits. It's so, to get a good lap, you've really got to push it out the back section in the GP section. But the track limits are so strict through there that I think I'm going to struggle in quali to get a clean lap. And then in the race, forgetting track limits and getting time penalties to give back. So, as much as I'll be wanting to push on, I'll be trying to keep my nose clean and just try and keep in the top 3 in the championship.
And obviously, as I've said it before, I think it's going to come down to teammates. I purely think it's going to come down to teammates. Obviously, you and Shaw's are both apex predators.
Yeah.
And I think Podifak as well.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting, because at some point, I mean, if you all level pegged, is it a case of Poddy just stay out the way, don't help any of us? Because, Nenad I'm not sure Nenad's got a teammate.
No.
So
Kerbalia might help him out, or Obradovic, or Opalic, because they're all the same countrymen, isn't they? So potentially those 3 could help him out. But
I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to come down to the final race.
Definitely it will do.
And I think it's going to be exciting. Right, so I'm going to go across and talk to Mike for a minute with 3 minutes there to go. Good luck in race 3. No doubt I'll talk to you after race 3.
Cheers, then.
And hopefully, my prediction, as I said before, is that if you can build that gap early, you do have a chance to win it. But
I'd like that, but I can't see it.
You never know. Race 3 is a bit mad sometimes.
Yeah.
And it is an 18, and it's 14 car reversals. So this is going to be a bit nuts.
It will, yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. Good luck for race 3.
Cheers, then.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yes.
Lovely. Absolutely, another cracking race. It looked like you had in race 2. Was that the same for you? Did you enjoy it? How was it? Because again, you looked like you were, from the bits that we saw anyway. It was, you were in a group of 3 or 4 cars, full battling again.
Yeah, that was it basically. It was just a bit ding dong back and forth. Struggled to make any real progress. Just a difficult track to come back to it. I can't get my braking right, but I'm enjoying it. It's good fun. Lots of battles. But yeah, the Russ and Simon were just too fast coming through, so couldn't keep up with them. Tried to follow them through and failed miserably, but I had good fun along the way.
So it's I think it's really tricky at the moment. Again, I broached it with Stu just there. It's at the moment. It's if you just open the door for one car, you're letting 2, 3, 4 other cars past, but then you're at the back of that group, and you've really got to think about where you attack, because the cost now is just far greater than it ever was.
Yeah, absolutely. The good thing about this track, I think you alluded to earlier, is wide. There's lots of lines you can take, so there's lots of opportunities to attack. But at other tracks, particularly, you think of somewhere like Brands, which is really narrow, you're going to have to pick your moments, and more than anything, sort of damage limitation, take care, really.
So, I mean, when it comes into obviously, I've been talking about this for the last couple of rounds in terms of teammates and stuff like that. Are you going to be involved? Are you going to get involved in someone's camp to help, or is it a case of I'm not interested? I'm just going to go as fast as I can and have a laugh.
If somebody needs a hand, I'll give them a hand in the sort of fairest and cleanest way possible, of course. But if somebody's like, look, I need you to, what did Fernando Alonso call it, defend like a lion?
Yeah.
then I'll do that. But of course, I wouldn't do anything untoward. But I'd certainly help a driver if they need it. I got nothing on the line, so why not?
And I think that's what makes it exciting. And I think for me, obviously with 40 seconds to pass. But I think that's what now makes it, we saw it at the end of last season, and obviously we've had the break and we're back in, but I just think it adds so much more now. It's you've got to be calculated. You just can't do silly moves because the cost now is massive.
It is, absolutely, and it's so easy just to rack those penalty points up. So it's all got to be calculated, but it's showing in the quality of the driving, I think, throughout the field that is working. So it's all good news.
It's all brilliant. Right, I'm going to let you go there because you're about to go into, I think it's warm-up and then formation. Good luck in race 3. Hopefully I will talk to you after.
Cheers,
otherwise, and as I say, good luck.
Thank you.
As I always say, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. So this is the practice over, then we go to warm-up. My predictions still stay the same. Let's have a look at over on the chat. Opalik is saying go Ogier, so that's definitely Ogier, and Slider George wants to show off his beard. So if you're wondering what that's about, if you look at, I'll just go across to it now. This is the picture. George Rallitas is in the AM category to the right, and he's got the best beard in the entire league. And that's what that's about. He's got the best beard. I'm growing my beard, hopefully, to be as big as his, but it won't get there, and I'll probably have to shave it off long before that because the other half won't be happy. So it's going to be interesting. Nicky's back in, which is good. So that's going to be interesting to see. Antonio's back in and Marwan is back in. They're all going to go through the process now of just sorting themselves out. My prediction still remains the same as that sorts itself out. So, yeah, my prediction still remains the same. So Alves will be on the front row alongside Stu Neal. Rallitas will be alongside Boki, but Rallitas has been fast. Rallitas has actually been super quick. Boki is alongside Ashbourne, Papadim is along Nenad, Opalik is alongside Von Skeppen, Deeks is alongside Petra, and then you've got Yusa, Boki, and T-Joke. Still remains the same. My money is still the same because if Stu Neal can clear Alves within the first 2 corners, I have a feeling that Rallitas and Boki and Ashbourne are going to hold everybody up for at least 2 laps. The problem Boki has is that he's fast. So Boki is a fast driver. It's his consistency over time. He roughly goes into about the 87% within his slowest to fastest lap time, which is quite a big gap. But when Boki's on it, he is on it. So Boki could do it. Boki could do it. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to stick with my original predictions. If Stu Neal is leading by about 4 minutes, I blink Stu Neal will do it. But if Vladovic, Nenad in 8th gets past Papadim, it's done. Nenad here has a real opportunity to actually put in some a huge points haul here. But the problem he'll have is that as he runs into that final round next week, he's going to have maximum ballast on board, 70 kilo on board. And at Brands, it's easier to defend at Brands Hatch, so it is what it is. Right, this is the final race of the evening. Top 3, top lights, top left. Watch them go ready. You will see the lights at the top. They will all go green. Here we go. Get ready. Lights out, and it's away we go for the final race of the evening. Emmanuel Alves is going to go into turn 1. Stu Neal has got the jump on him. He needed to do this. He's side by side. He has to hang this up the inside. Manuel will give him enough room because, he's run wide. Manuel has run wide already. Papadim has sailed up the inside. Van Skeppen has come out of nowhere. So is Nenad. So is Boki. Oh, there's contact in the background. There's contact. They've all smashed into each other. Bojan span round. That's that. Opalik is right at the back of the field now, but Stu Neal is leading from Boki. Boki could do the blinder here. T-Joker's already up 9 position. He's into 9th. As they all pile into turn 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. They need to keep this nice and tidy at the moment. Heragon Helsinki is in the side. There's absolute a little bit of his internet. It needs to be looked at. It's all over the place as they go through turn through the left-hander. Needs to keep this nice and tidy. Needs to hold it. There goes Nicky at the minute. He's just watching out as he's trying to recover there. He's in 5th position as it goes wide. He's gone wide. That's allowed the fast-moving Matika to come up. Matika's now into 21st. He's doing what he needs to do. Stu Neal is still leading, which is crucial at the moment as the rest of the field piles in. There's Mike Bullen. He's in 17th. He's side by side with Bojan. Bojan in the 79, just ahead. There's Butcher. Those two have been friends for a long time, as in they've stuck together like glue for the last 2 races. Through the left-hander we go. We haven't even finished lap 1 at the moment. Nenad is on the back of Papadim. So Papadim's up to 3rd. Nenad's making hay. Stu Neal, I don't think he's going to do it now. The prediction, if Nenad can clear this and clear Papadim quickly, he will have a real opportunity as he holds on to this. Right, Antonio is the corking a massive bottle here. We're running on board with Antonio in 13th. Behind that is Bojan Neal, Marwan Butcher, Trebek, Bullen. They're all going side by side. Boki is right on the rear end there of Bojan. Through the left-hander. Oh, there's the 29 of Antonio. He's holding on for Bojan. Contact between the two. We've hit the button. We're going to have a look at that. Is he going to recover? Is Bojan going to get back on the road? Yes, he is. Where's Antonio? He's recovering. We'll have a look at that post-race. I am intrigued on that one. Right, Nikita is in 19th position. And he's got to make hay. He's right next to Bill Campion. He should clear Bill without any real hindrance here at the moment. Going down now as fast as he can across the line down into the gearbox. 5th, 4th, 3rd. Into 2nd. Nikita goes through that corner as Bill Campion goes wide. He says thank you very much. That's allowed Matika and Andrea to come back as well. There's Matika, a privateer. There's Nikita. There's the 99 of Bill Campion. They are nose to tail through this section as we ride on board now with Heragon through the right side. He needs to keep this nice and tidy. He's from the Excel Racers. Didn't know where he's come from, but there we go. Over the crest of the hill. Needs to keep this a little bit tidy now through the left-hander. No heroics through the right-hander as Martin and Bojan. Bojan's recovering, don't forget. He's outbraked himself. Made a little bit of contact there through the left-hander. I think his internet's having a little bit of a wishy-washy there. Needs to keep this nice and tidy. Bojan just giving him a lot of space. I think that's the only thing you can do as his internet's right. Nick Papadim has passed Van Skeppen. I say he's passed Van Skeppen. He's side by side with Van Skeppen. This is the battle for the lead. This is the battle for 2nd position. So Papadim is now into 2nd. He's the car on the 1-2 second car. That's 74, that black and yellow one. He's side by side with Van Skeppen. Van Skeppen's in the number 50. Van Skeppen gives him a little old spark touch there. Nick Papadim is into 2nd. Nenad is going to try and get his way through as well. Ashbourne is holding station in 5th. Started 5th, still 5th. Nenad is going to go around the outside here of Boki. Does he get it done? No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Nenad's out the outside of Boki, ticks himself off, says thank you very much. He's checking out at the front. Papadim, 0.8 of a second. Now, what Stu Neal has to hope for is that all of these 4 keep each other occupied so he can get gone at the front. He's going to he's approaching 1/3 race distance. Right. Marwan is nowhere near. Where's Van Skeppen? He must have gone off the road or had an incident because he's back in the middle of the field now. He's 2 positions down on his started 9th, he's in 11th, so he's going to struggle from there at the moment as that unfolds. Martin Kirby up the inside of Andy Foster, nearly up the inside of Andy Foster, manages to hold the car just enough. Right, back to the battle. So, at the moment, Nick Papadim has Boki for company. There's Boki in the number 50. Papadim is now 0.5 of a second off. Nenad is approaching as well, and there's Ashbourne in the 91. Jean Petra and T-Joke have all caught them as well. And at the moment, all the way from 1st to 11th, they're in the same camera shot. They're attacking and defending from each other as we ride on board now with Jean Petra. He is attacking the car in front. That is Simon Ashbourne. He's got T-Joke behind him and Shaw's User right behind that as well. They are absolutely nose to tail as we ride now on the rear camera here of Nick Papadim. There's Papadim. He's doing all he can do. But I don't think he can do enough. Papadim is going for it. Jean Petre is going for it into turn 1. Does he get the job done? No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. And it's reset all over again as he holds what he can at the front. Papadim. Oh, there's contact. There's contact. Boki has gone off the road. That's allowed Nenad back into third position. So Nenad now is back into third. That's going to be absolutely crucial for his championship going into the final round. Shores User is in 7th, but Stu Neal is at the lead. The problem Stu Neal now has is he's got the rest of the field catching him. They are all catching him. At the current prediction, it's 8 minutes. It's an 8-lap race. There's only 2 places that they could really overtake him. Papadim, ballast on board. Nenad, ballast on board. Ashbourne, currently 4th, no ballast on board. And he is absolutely giving it all. It's 3 wide coming out that corner. Somebody's going to have to yield. And it's going to have to be one of them. T-Joke is going to try and mug Ashbourne. That was always going to work through there. Ashbourne stuck his nose out as best as he could. Manages to get the job done, holds on to that position. Ashbourne is the number 91, sorry, 91. He's now got Papadim. Nenad was the big winner in that. T-Joke's going to go up the inside. It's 3 wide. That's just not going to work at the moment. Riding from the rear camera of Nenad. Nenad, don't forget, has a lot of ballast on board. This is playing perfectly into the hands here of somebody else. Nick Papadim's disqualification. That's not going to help him. He's been DQ'd due penalty. So 3 drivers are DNF'd as well, probably for incidents. But Nenad now is 1 second behind Stu Neal. T-Joke is into 3rd. This is playing perfectly into the hands of Stu Neal because Nenad has just as much ballast as he did. Well, he doesn't. He's got 63 kilos and Stu Neal's got 70 kilos. T-Joke here, riding on board with him, is attacking and defending. He's in 3rd position, don't forget. Right behind that is... Where's Ashbourne? Ashbourne's gone off the road. Ashbourne's gone off the road and he's all the way down there. He was battling for the lead, but that's racing sometimes as it holds station at the moment. Shores User is making progress. There's T-Joke. T-Joke's in 2nd. He should keep Nenad busy here. Lap 5. It's an 8-lap race. That's how long this takes. It's 8 laps. So for your Stu Neal fans at home, T-Joke's going to try and go around the outside there of Nenad. Nenad saw that coming, enticed him into the manoeuvre, but just enough to close the door shut. And now Jean Petre is going to keep T-Joke company. He is the 1, 2, 3, 4th. He's that purple Siam at number 12. There he is. He's in 4th position. He's going to keep 3rd place man T-Joke busy. There he is. Nenad is 0.5 of a second off the lead. Shores User isn't far behind as well. So the 4 championship rivals are all in the top 5 at the moment. Craig Deeks hasn't given this up either. There's Craig Deeks. He's right at the back in that number. He's in that one. Come on, camera. In the 34. He's in 6th position, don't forget. There is 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd and 1st. Stu Neal now has a problem with Nenad because Nenad is right there. There's Nenad in the 96. Stu Neal in the 95. He's going to do all he can do here. He's held on to lap 6. It's an 8-lap race and he has to hold on and he's going to struggle here. It's 0.2 of a second. He's just got to keep... He's got to keep this. He's gaining and gaining and gaining. Shores User is also gaining on the back of his old buddy there, but it's just not going to work from there. Van Skeppen is up, Trebek is out, Papadim is out, Ashbourne is out. Ashbourne is disqualified in the 3rd race. It's a tricky race to do, and that's just the way it is. 2 solid results for him, but that's how it is. As we ride now from the rear wing of our race leader. Bojan is on the back of Marwan as well, but we are watching the battle for the lead. Nenad is going to go for this up the inside. Nenad has got the car stopped and rotated. Does he run out of road? No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. And Stu Neal has just managed to hold on to the position, but T-Joke has got his nose ahead. There goes T-Joke. T-Joke's going for it. Is he going to take the victory? Again, he's got round. It's going to be it. He's just going to keep it on the tarmac, and he will have 3 wins. He'll be the first driver this season to get a win, and a win. He's going to be absolutely stellar happy with that. But Stu Neal has been holding on to 2nd for over 10 minutes now. His biggest problem now is I think the floodgates are going to open. There goes Nenad. That's another position gone. Jean Petre should mug him almost instantly, and so should Shaw's. At the current moment, he's got to finish 8th. Now, that's the best he can hope for at the moment. The door is open and they're all driving through it. There goes Jean Petre. He's also gone now. This was, we said in post-race 2 interviews, that was always going to happen. Bojan is a DNF. JC Cameo is a DNF. And they're both in the stratosphere randomly at the moment. Stu Neal holds on to 3rd. There he is. He's just doing as much as he can. Question is, can he hold on? I don't think he can. It's about to be a flood. There goes Stu Neal. He's allowed to go defensive. It's one defensive move. He's moving the car back and he's left the door open. As we ride on board now with Craig Deeks, he's watching this unfold through into turn 1. He gets the car stopped and rotated just enough because he's got George Rallitas for company. Rallitas will be finished in 7th, which would be his highest position. Well, at this rate, he's going to finish 1 position higher because Stu Neal, slow down penalty, excessive track abuse limit. That's going to hurt him. He's really going to struggle with that now. The question is he going to hold on to it? No, there goes Shaw's user. The door's open now and everyone's driving through. Van Skeppen was trying to avoid, I said that, George Rallitas is now up to 6th. So George Rallitas here is doing a stellar job. There he is, he's in 6th. He's going to be in 5th in a minute because I suspect he'll get past Stu Neal. It's 2:37, lap 7, 1 more to go after this. It's an 8-lap race, so it's the best he could do. Right, where's Martin Kirby? So Martin Kirby is on the back of Haragon. He's given it as best as he can. I think his internet's a bit jumpy. It's a little bit jumpy. Through the right-hander. He needs to keep this nice and tidy now. Through the right-hander he needs to go. Right, where's Nikita? Nikita is up 16th positions. He started at the back of the field and he's up to 11th. Problem he has is his nearest rival is Van Skeppen and Bokin. No, it isn't. His nearest rival is Papa Dim, and Papa Dim is out at the moment. So Nikita here could get himself... no, he won't because he was out races 1 and 2. So he's just on a recovery drive. So Van Skeppen will extend his lead, I believe, and Papa Dim will as well. But I think Nikita is going to struggle from there. I don't think he's going to really progress. It's the last lap. It's lap 8. We're currently doing 152 laps at the moment. So assures you, sir, will George Rallitas take the final, get back up into 5th, which would be his highest finishing position this season. He will be super ecstatic with that. T-Joke will take a triple win this time out. He just seems to have found super power within these final races at the moment. So the question is he going to be able to do that? Shaw's user up the inside of his old buddy, Jean. I think that was a bit of tactical switch there. I think Jean Petre let him through because, yeah, he's fighting back. But this is a done deal. Well, I say it's a done deal. It isn't a done deal. Jean Petre hasn't let it go yet. Yeah, and that's done. That was always going to happen. Jean Petre there. So Shaw's is right behind Nenad. But Stu Neal is crucially in 5th position at the moment. So it's going to be reset all over again. I don't think Nenad, is going to hold this position. He's going to hold on as much as he can now. There he is. He's down in 2nd position. But that's all he needs to do. He just needs 3 good, solid results this time out. And then he's got the final race of 3 races next week out. There is 2 corners to go. Manuel Alves has been passed by Nikita Gravier. Don't forget, Manuel started on 12th. Haragon is on the back here of Andrea at the moment, so he's going to try and get through. The question is, can he do anything from here? I don't think he can, but we are going to watch the race leader. Again, he will take a triple crown, so he will join a very select amount of drivers who have done the triple crown at the TCRSL. So he takes the first triple crown win of the season. He also got pole position, but he did not get fastest lap, so TCRSL history is not made. Andrea is fighting hard there with Kirby and Derek Neal. Can he get past? No, he can't, and he's disqualified. So he's disqualified. And Antonio down in 15th position. Well, I say he's down in 15th position. He's actually finished. JC Cameo's in there. Bill Campion will be the last driver to cross the field in 20th position. And as I've said time and time again, race 3 is how you win championships. It's a tough race. Nikita gets the fastest lap. Well done. So there is your provisional race results. As always, T-Joke is first, Ninad is second, Shaw's is third, Sean Petra is fourth, Neil is fifth, Rallytas is sixth. He'll be super chuffed with that. Van Skeppen is seventh, Deeks is eighth, Butcher is ninth, Boki, is it Boki? Yeah, Boki is 10th, Nikita is 11th, Alves, Marwan, Bullen by Nota, Andrea from Neil, from Kirby, from Foster, from Bill Campion. And then we had Bojan is at DNF, JC, DNF, Trebek, Matika, Open Leaf, DNFs. Heragon, Ashbourne and Papadim disqualified in the final 3 races. It's always tough. As I say, it's always tough in this league. No doubt there'll be many talking points through this entire race. As I always say, we only ever see one race victory, but while we wait for people to join, I want to look at... I was going to look... Where am I going to go? Right, let's go the replay analysis. So, if you're new to the stream, we do have the ability to look through replays, which is this side here. So... It's over here. There we go. It's over there. We're not on the level of the sky, so we're not that good, but we can look at it. Now, I wanted to look at the incident. This is the... Yeah, there it is. That's a tough one. And again, we only have one camera angle here, so... that's a tough one, really. So... he's coming this way, so he's on that angle there. He's going that way. And there's Nikita. Yeah. So, if we are using the new regulations of Formula 1, that's a tough one for me. Because he's come across... So what it will depend on for me is... he's making the move. So here, the move is being made. So he's coming across. And I'm assuming he's coming across to block Boki, is what I think's happening. You'd need to see more of the angles. Because Boki has gone, I'm going this way. Or Matika is going this way, and Bojan is going to go that way. Boki's going to go that way. You'd need to look at inputs on drivers. It's a tough one for me. It's a tough one. You'd need to look at a top angle on there, because if there was space, it all depends on the space here. If there was space there, the other driver did not take any avoiding action. So, the drivers started to make the move across. The other one's going, I'm going straight down here. If there was no... and in that case, I'd say it was a racing incident. I'd be leaning that way. If there was no space, and that accident was always going to happen, then that's where the blame... I'd portion it that way. But you'd have to look at driver inputs, and you'd need a top-down view. Without that, I think it's hard to make a decision there. Realistically... so you'd have to look at that. But I wanted to look at that one because that was interesting to see. Right, we're going to go across to the back to the commentary box. But as I always say on incident and accidents, I only ever get to see one angle. I don't have the ability to go back through replay. I do have the replay analyzer, so I can look at it. But again, it's from
my viewpoint from what I'm looking at. So as always, there are always multiple different angles, and as I always say, just look at if you are the driver, just submit it. That's what it's there for. Right. So 3 great races as always. Absolutely loved it. And as I've said time and time again, race 3 is the most important race. If you are winning championships, you have to know how to navigate that race. You have to know when to stop and you have to know when to attack, because you cannot afford the disqualifications. It's a tough race. It's a tough league, to be honest. It just is, but that's how it is. So I've got Stu Neal in the box with me now, and he started in 2nd position, was leading up until the 10-minute mark. Which was really, really good. But then, like I said, Nenad was there on the attack, and Tijo just drove through because we had 2 or 3 disqualifications. A real shame, but that's how it is sometimes. That's racing. So I'm going to go across to Stu Neal. Stu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Right. Race 3. That's what I want to talk about. We've talked about race 1. We've talked about race 2. I want to talk about race 3. So you did what you needed to do, and I don't think you could do any more. But
no.
Was there at a point? Because at one point, when it was Papadim, Nenad, Ashbourne, Shores, and it was Van Skeppen, you had like a 1.7 second lead, and that was going. You had like 11 minutes remaining. Did you think at that point you were thinking, I could win this?
No, I could see the gap, as you say, but I knew that I just couldn't keep the pace up, and I knew that if it had settled down at that point, they weren't fighting so much. So Nenad, when he was behind me, he could just get his head down and come after me, and he's been faster than me all night. He's always tends to be faster than me, full stop. Anyway. And so I knew he was going to close me down anyway, bit by bit. But I made a couple of mistakes because I was pushing to try and keep that gap. And then I made a couple of mistakes and went wide a couple of times. And it was like, and then when he was on me, but of course he brought Soki with him. And obviously Soki was unballasted. And yeah, he just flew by. And I thought it's pointless trying to fight too much to try and stop him. If I can just stay on the back of him, I'll try that. But Nenad was there, and then Shores was there as well, and I was just like, and I thought I wanted to get top 10 is where I wanted to finish, and I managed to get 5th. I was glad on that last lap, but I thought, well, that'll do. I don't think I was going to get any better, to be fair. So,
I mean, we talked about that between race 2 and 3, is that once the door opens, the door's open, and they're all just going to start coming through. Did you change how you? Because as soon as Shoke got past, obviously then you had Nenad who was pushing, and then obviously he started to get past. At that point, did you go, right, I'm in damage limitation mode now. They are going to come past, but I'm not going to make it easy, but I'm also not going to make it too difficult because I need the points.
Yeah, 100%. It was pointless fighting too much, but thankfully Realistas didn't quite have the pace to put a move on me. I think maybe one more lap and he'd have been on top of me and might have got me as well, but like I said, I knew that where I was all right at that point. I was hoping that 5th was going to be it, because it was either that lap or one more, I think, and it was like, that should be all right. But the other guys, I couldn't slow them down or myself down anymore, really. It was just pointless. I thought, well, I'll give Shores the inside and jump in behind him, see if he can drag me along, but he was long gone. I was like, that didn't work then. But yeah, it was worth a try.
I mean, from where anyway, if you cast your minds back a couple of seasons ago, Shores was like disappearing into the distance. I mean, and now there you are fighting for a championship with, and I don't mean disrespectfully, but with the likes of Nenad and Shores. And I've watched Nenad ever since I started doing Race Room, and he's always been fast.
Yeah.
Same as Shores.
Well, this is it. I mean, me and Shores, I think seasons 4 and 5, maybe, we were 1-2 for both of them. And obviously that's where we finished in the championship. And for most of the season, we were in that position as well. So exchanging positions. So, but yeah, Nenad, as I say, I've raced with him in a few different leagues and stuff and whatever. And as I said, he's always just had the edge on me. I've got him a couple of times, but it's not very often he makes a mistake. That's the thing. Same as Shaw's.
They're very consistent.
Yeah, annoyingly so. Yeah.
Just quickly, George was saying the reason he didn't overtake you, it was because of his respect on you.
Oh, okay.
He's actually in the chat because we were talking about his beard earlier. So he was in the chat. He's just said it was a respect.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much.
I mean, and that's the thing. But it's, I mean, it must be. You must at some point, like next week, is going to be. It's just going to be. It's going to be challenging because it's so close. I mean, I think you will have less ballast now. I think you're going to be back into third in overall.
I think I'll be fourth, to be honest. But yeah.
Well, Jean-Petre wasn't.
He was ahead of me in all three of the races.
So he was under.
Yeah.
Yes, he wasn't he? That could change.
Yeah.
But Nenad wasn't really anywhere in races 1 and 2. Shaw's was higher, but Shaw's
is definitely first. I reckon Nenad's got second, because he got an 8th, a 6th, and a 2nd, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I'd say that he's definitely going to be second as well. I think Jean-Petre would have just picked me to third, and I think I'll be in fourth, or we'll be very close on points.
It's gonna come down. That final 3 races is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be amazing because you can't afford to battle people. You can't afford to get stuck behind anybody. You have to have a good qualifying. And like you said before, the track limits are going to kill you because there isn't any. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no real easy place to shed the ballast. Sorry, the penalties at Brands GP, and at the top of the hairpin at Druids, you've got that sausage curve that'll launch your car if you get it wrong.
Yeah, you don't want to get on that.
It's going to be interesting, I think. So, I mean, for next week, have you got any strategy? Are you going to look at, or are you going to wait and just go, hopefully I've got less ballast and I'm just going to send it?
My strategy is to try and not get track limits. Because that is going to kill me, I know, next week. Because I always, as I said before, out the GP section out the back, I can't remember the name of the 2 corners, but it's 2 right-handers. And you always take liberties with them, and it punishes you. So yeah, they're my my worst enemy. Those 2 corners. The rest of the track is fine, but I'd always pick up track limits and ruin a good quali lap, or don't do a good enough quali lap because I've gone too easy through there. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be interesting. But you're the challenger here. You're the attacker. You know, if you're carrying maximum ballast, it's a good time to lose the ballast.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's how much it's cost you this week, I think.
Yes.
It's going to be to play for. But I think it's going to be really exciting. I think it's going to be super exciting, if I'm honest.
Definitely.
I'm going to go across now. I think it's Russ is here. Is it Russ?
Yeah.
Yes. I am, mate. Yeah.
How are you, Russ?
I've had better nights.
Right. First of all, I want to start off with the pedals. So for those of you that have been watching the stream or you watch the stream back, Russ had an issue with his pedals to start off with. Has that, and obviously we talked about this last week and we talked about it the week before, has that continued to hinder you this week as well? I'm assuming it has.
No, it was actually a firmware update that ruined the pedals for tonight. It had a firmware update, which stupidly I did last night and didn't bother to make sure everything was alright, and then jumped in with like 5 minutes of qualifying ready to go, and the brake pedal had turned into an on-off switch.
Oh.
So yeah, it was either totally off or on 100% as soon as I touched it, so that was no good. And it was still not quite right by race 2, but by race 3 I got it back where I did it. I had to re-download the old firmware software for it, so like roll it back to how it was, and then re-change all my settings back to how I had them for Monday night between races 2 and races 3. So yeah, race 2 wasn't great. Sometimes it was, as it has been for most of the season, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it'll lock up, sometimes it wouldn't break enough, but then race 3 I got it back to how I had it Monday night. Thank God.
So it was you were back to that actually having some ability to stop the car.
Yes, basically it did what I wanted it to do, and it stopped when I wanted it to stop, and I didn't have to sort of second guess whether I was going to stop or not stop.
Just primarily talking about race 3, because obviously race 1 you weren't really in that. Race 2 was a bit touch and go, but race 3, a bit of race 2 as well. You looked like you had you, Trebek, and Bullen had an absolute stonker of a round.
It was, race 2 was, interesting. I don't know what happened to Simon in race 1, but Simon
he had a drive-through penalty.
Oh.
He failed to slow down and then messed up the drive-through. I don't mean to laugh, Simon.
Oh, dear.
I laugh because I don't drive, so it's funny to me.
Race 2 was good fun. I did have a few issues with the brakes because I did bang into the back of Stu at one point at the hairpin. So sorry, Stu. I did give it him back.
At least he didn't spin him this time.
No, I made sure I didn't do that. And I tried to give him the place back and hold everyone else, because at that time that was when Bullen and Alves and everyone was all around him as well. So it was like, that was really not the right time. So I did try and give him a bit of a gap, but as he said, the 70 kilos around here was killing him, and you could see that, not being funny, Stu's not 154 a lap person around here without having some sort of problem, and the 70 kilos obviously was a big issue.
It was tough.
Yeah, it's just one of them tracks. All the elevation changes, the heavy braking zones. It's what, when you're running ballast, it's what you don't want.
Exactly.
but again, I think. But the thing is, though, is that you've had ballast, you've had ballast, Russ, and obviously same as you, Stu, as well. But it levels the field, and you can't really pick when you're going to get it, because you don't know what's going to happen. And that race 3, and I know I say it time and time again, and I say it every single week, the race 3 is what wins championships.
But at one point, Stu was in the lead on race 3, and I thought, God, Stu, how he was in the lead at race 3 with that much ballast on and doing that sort of lap time. I was amazed.
It didn't last.
But again, the ballast. We talk about ballast, and people love ballast when they haven't got it, and they hate it when they have it. It's a big divider. It's a big divider on people, but I think it's really worked. Because you do have the likes, without ballast, the likes of Neil, yourself, Stu, Nenad and Shaw's, and if what was his name? The guy who won last season, Gregor was here. They disappear into the distance.
He's done a 50.9 around here.
Yeah, and that's the point. That's the whole point of the ballast. It provides. Yes, it creates a situation like we had today, where you have another new winner, but realistically, it's not really going to dent anyone's championship, because you three are so close anyway. And I love it. I think it's created one of the best seasons so far.
Like you say, it is a bit swings and roundabouts, because Shaw's didn't have the best of weeks last week, and then obviously Stu's gone into this week with a maximum ballast on. Stu's not had the best of weeks in terms of race 1 and race 2. Obviously race 3's finishing position will help him sort of try and stay in touch. But yeah, like you say, it over the season, hopefully it should sort of the maximum weight, and that should bounce around between a few drivers, and hopefully over the season it does level itself out a little bit.
But it does work, to be fair. As much as I hate it, but I don't.
You hate it when you've got it. You love it when you don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's the 70 kilos. That's the killer. Do you know what I mean? I could live with 63 kilos last week, as you saw. I could live with that. It's like that extra 7 kilos. It's too much. It's like, So yeah, but as Russ says, it does bring it close together, and we look how close we were last week. I mean, there's a slight mess up on the calculations, but there's 3 of us until that was seen. The 3 of us were on 184. Do you know what I mean? So it proves that it works. because we wouldn't be that close on the points otherwise. So,
and I think the funny thing as well with the ballast is that, you know, the likes of, and I use Shaw's as the example because he does have one advantage over everyone, is that he's run with 70 kilo for so long.
Well, it was actually more than that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think at one
to
point
be.
it was 100 kilo or something. Or 80
Season three, we won 100 kilos. Yeah.
But you know, but at that point the divide between first and, you know, last was huge.
Yes.
Now even the guys at the back, you know, like Marwan or JC, you know, Kirby, even your own father, Derek Neal, and Andy Foster, and even Rob South, they're finishing within, 10 seconds? 15 seconds on an actual race. So
it's a lot closer now.
It's, 15 seconds is nothing, realistically, and only when someone has a big accident do they finish, like a lap behind, or, 20, 30, 40 seconds. But I think the ballast is at such a... And because the field is so close, and because the instant points are so dangerous, 30 of them, there seems to be a lot less silliness. Is that the right word I would use? Or dive bombs? Probably
yes.
dive bombs, I think, is the word I would use.
You still get it every now and then. There's still one or two drivers that you're already... Especially, it's worse when you're carrying the ballast that we're carrying, because I have to brake at a completely different point to everyone else and turn in earlier as well, because the things are brick. Do you know what I mean? You turn in and the front just starts to wash out and understeer. So I need to brake, get it turned in and going around the corner, whereas someone else will think, I'll get up the inside here. But as they're then trying to come down the inside, I'm already turning, and they end up sort of T-boning me, if you see what I mean.
Yes.
So it's a case that happened a few times, and it does happen. And I can understand it from obviously both points of view, but it's a case of it's planning where you're going to pass somebody, and there's some corners that are just a no-no, and there's other corners where that makes more sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
it is what it is.
But I think that the frequency of that has dropped rapidly.
Yes, yeah.
And I think because, and I spoke about this with Bullen, and I've spoken about it before, is that the jeopardy is just far greater than it ever was. Because, you might be racing one car, you fall off the track, oops, sorry, and then you're still racing the same car. Now you're racing 3, 4, 5 cars, oops, I'm last. Yeah. I have to fight all the way back up through the field again.
Yeah, or like you say, a disqualification, whereas... like say season 3, season 4, it might have you down in 12th, 13th position. Now you're going to be down in 28th position.
And you think, I have to fight my way through, but it's not. It's not simple. It's not
exactly. You
problem.
still only got them 30 incident points to fight your way back through with. It's not easy.
I mean, it is amazing. I mean, but again, it also the ballast I think creates like T-Joke today. Obviously, he's made history by being another 3-time winner.
I was going to ask about that. That's one of the reasons I popped in. Who was qualifying pole position?
T-Joke, I think.
Then he's done the magic then, hasn't he?
No,
or did he get all the
fastest lap? No, because Nicky got fastest lap in 11th in race 2, I think. So Nicky's had fastest...
Not quite.
No, race 3. Nicky's had fastest lap in race 3. So he hasn't done history. It hasn't been done.
So close.
Very, very close, but has not been done. Because Bojan qualified second and was leading into turn 2 in race 1, and then I didn't see it on stream, but Tcsrl just passed him somewhere. I was watching somebody else and they passed him, and he passed him. So he did that. He did it in race 2 and 3. Obviously 3 he won as well. So I think only the Sober Stig and Shaw's have done it. It's a very limited group. But again, unballasted has been nowhere in the season, and it turns out the Peugeot works very well here.
It does.
Who knew? So, I mean, that's an amazing thing as well. So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting as well. And George, so obviously George has been on the stream as well, and I think if he's still watching. But just before I go as well, I'd like to make a special mention to George, because obviously I've been watching him for a bit as well. He is not an AM driver.
Not now, he's not, no. He's the last couple of weeks since probably Zhuhai, he's really stepped up the pace. He's doing really well. Yeah, I don't know what he's having in his Weetabix, but
it's the beard of justice. That's what it is.
that's it.
It's
Yeah,
the
he's
beard
got to
of
keep
justice.
growing it.
But I mean, for yourself, Stu. I mean, obviously you've basically been his partner for the entire of tonight's races. He's been following you around a lot. Again, it was like you said, he was catching you. Is, you know, do you see that as well? Because race 1, he was at the back, and now he's was 6th. He finished this time, I think it was.
Ralistas was 6 in that last race. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was 12th out of 29 cars in race 1. I mean, that's a huge one coming forward, to be honest. I mean, that's going to be interesting. I mean, I think he needs to move up one. Same as Van Skeppen. Van Skeppen is not a Pro-Am driver.
No.
But again, he's really come on board. He's moved forward.
But obviously, if they do win their categories, then they do get bumped up to the category above. Providing, obviously, that most of the drivers stay the same, then the categories, the winners of the Pro-Am and the Am Championships will be moved up to the category above, and then depending on who obviously stays in the league for next season, will then work out whether the person finishing in 2nd and 3rd maybe move up as well. But it'll all depend. I'd need to see who's staying and who's not racing in season 8. Yeah, it'll just be, we'll have to do it season by season. But yeah, hopefully if we can keep all the drivers, because it's really good and I hope they're enjoying it. And yeah, if we can keep as many drivers as possible, I'll be really happy, because I was speaking to Carl Smith earlier, who said how much fun he's enjoying having people in and around him that are around his pace, and having something to turn up to every week, because he said he did sometimes in Crest where he was basically time trialling on his own out of the back because he was 10-15 seconds down the road from the next car ahead of him. So yeah, I think they're really, hopefully everyone's enjoying it and they're all enjoying the battles, no matter what championship they're in, what position on the grid they're in. Because like you say, Andy, watching some of the streams back, some of the Am battles, although they might be 10-15 seconds behind, you know, the guys out the front, the battles are fantastic.
But I think Mike broached on this between races 2 and 3, because what Mike said is that he's also having great fun, but he's got someone to race. And I think that's the key, is that the way that the Pro-Am and the Ams are done is that we have, and I think it's fairly unique, and again, please correct me if I'm wrong, Stu, you might be different opinions, but there's a good selection of drivers from different abilities. And a lot of the guys, like your father, you talk about Carl Smith, we talk about JC Cameo, you've got Marwan. I finally learned, he actually told me how to say his name. That's quite a good one. Andy Foster, Rob South as well. I mean, these guys are all battling each other week on week. Bill Campion, can't forget Bill, and they're clustered together, but they're not far enough away. You think about it, you look at George Rallitas as well, is they're fighting each other, and then you've got all the Pro-Am guys fighting each other, but a proportion of the Pro-Am guys are now slowly going to the Pro category. It's like everyone's dragging everyone along.
Yeah, everyone's dragging everybody forward, which, like you say, it only makes people go faster and go further up the grid, and obviously then, the enthusiasm, hopefully, they want to turn up every week, so go, I finished 15th last week, I want to see if I can finish right in the mix of the Pro-Am drivers this week, and that's sort of where George Rallitas has got to at the minute, so who knows where he could go come the end of next season after.
He was still listening, and he said, ultra-wide monitor, and finally I perfected the setting on the Monza pit, I think the Monza wheel, probably.
Moser, wasn't it?
Yeah, Moser, and he set it up. So that's why he's faster, because he can actually see where he's going and he can turn the wheel. That's what I'm going with.
It does help.
Yeah, Russell's and also braking, but Russ is working on that one. Sorry, Russ.
Yes.
But I think
right,
but I think that's the key, though, is that and with the way that the ballast applies, is that you've got guys like Van Skeppen, and you've got Papa Dim as well, and Boki, and they're now in the mix as well, with the pro guys because of the ballast. And like I say this again, I think the big skill, and I think there's a nice divide between the AM, the Pro-Am, and the AM, and the Pro, is that the AM guys are in a situation where they're learning how to manage, I say the incident points, but it's the incident points. Because when you're battling with people at the front, you can't afford disqualifications.
Yeah.
And, running wide off a track, getting those up. So I think it's brilliant. I think where it is now, I think it's a perfect mix of drivers. And I hope the likes of and I say this time and time again, and I've said this before, it's easy to attract fast people. It's hard to attract people who are developing and to get them to come back week on week. And without those guys, and I say this and I will say it again, I'll say it time and time again, without those guys, because someone has to finish last, you wouldn't have a league. You just wouldn't get it.
It's key that we've got 3 separate championships going on, because if you just had a drivers' championships and the points were out at 15, what's the point in the other 15 turning up? Do you know what I mean? If they're never going to get a point, or never going to get a chance of it. So having the 3 championships really helps, and it sets it apart from other leagues like that. Because, as you say, you end up, T6 is a prime example, they get some esport drivers and stuff in, and I'm generally 9th, 10th, something like that, and I'm happy with that. Do you know what I mean? With the quality of the people ahead of me. But that starts off with 20, 22, 25 drivers in the first week, and 2 weeks, 3 weeks in, you're down to 12, 14.
Yeah.
And that's purely because they're not getting any points, and they're not getting any racing with anyone. It's like you said before, you've got people at the back or the midfield who are just running around by themselves.
And I think as well, I know we've completely now just looking at over things. I will, in the YouTube thing, I will cut this into different sections so you don't have to watch all of it. But again, I also think as well is that the commentary is important. I'm not just talking about it for myself, but I do watch a lot of leagues, and they only tend to follow the top 5 guys.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Yeah.
And I mean, I am awful for it, because if you're in the lead, I don't follow you. If you're in the lead and on your own, you don't get any airtime. I just don't follow you. And half the time I forget you finished the race. I go, oh, hang on, he's finished. Whoops. I mean, I think I forgot T-Joke finished in the first race. I'm like, oh, he's actually finished. He's actually won. Whoops. But
the thing is, I don't think people mind that. Do you know what I mean? Because, you got him, he's won, he's had a mention, he's up the front there. But if there's nobody battling, then what's the point in following someone that's 3 seconds ahead of everyone or whatever? You want to be following the battles. And again, that's another thing I've seen in other leagues. Considering you do everything by yourself, it's incredible that you manage to catch what you do. Because you see some of the other leagues, again, and I'm watching, and I'm like, I'll be like 0.1 of a second behind someone or something, and I'm not just talking about myself and saying why isn't it focusing on me? I'm king, do you know what I mean? Because I'm not. But you watch it and you see there's people changing places, 0.1 of a second, 0.2 of a second, yet they're focusing on the front 5, as you say. And it's like, hold on, there's overtaking going on back there. There's a battle. You know what I mean? Why aren't you looking at that? Why are you just looking at a train of cars going around that are doing nothing? There's no attacking. There's no anything. But as I said, all praise to you. Somehow you managed to catch everything, which is brilliant.
Not always. Sometimes I just see a car disappear. Oh, that's something there. But someone's crashed. I don't know who's, because the problem is someone will crash. I'm like, someone's crashed. Who is it? It took me 10 minutes to figure it out. But but I'm quite lucky. I mean, if you go back to season 1 or 2, it was really bad. I was not great at it. It's got better. But what makes it easy is that there's so much going on, and I think that's my biggest. That's what I love the most about it. But also, it's really hard to capture everything. But
well, you do a good job. So
thank you very much.
Most things.
So just to close it off, because obviously I'm 15 minutes over my allotted time, as I should be. So to close it off, obviously next week for yourself, Stu. We talked about that briefly, and again, it's just like you said. any final thoughts on that, or are you just going to turn up, don't get any limits, and just go for it?
It's obviously I'm just going to try as hard as I can. I'm going to have less ballast that I've had this week, so that's good. As I said, my main challenge is going to be trying not to get track limits. If I can keep my nose clean, then I can score some good points. But yeah, it's qualifying is going to be key, and getting the spin for race 3 is going to be key as well.
Yeah, well, I can't. That's live on the stream, so I can't fix. I can't.
Oh no! Obviously, I'm not suggesting. Yeah, I'm not suggesting it could be, but
well, I could fix it. I'll just put your position in and then press spin and go. Oh look, it's finished exactly on Stu Neal's. Ooh,
perfect.
The problem now is if it does finish on your position, it's going to look fixed.
It will.
You do realise, Andy, now that you have said that.
Like, oh, who started Stu Neal? I wonder what happened there. Whoops. No, it is live. It's fully live on stream. So, Russ, for yourself, anything looking forward for next week, or is it a case of just go out and have some fun? Make sure the brakes work.
Just go and have some fun. I'm not going to do any more firmware updates or anything like that. I'm going to leave it as it is, and see out the season in the Renault, and then see what car we pick for next season. But
well, the last thing I want to finish on, just to let you know, so George is still listening. Thank you, George. And he actually gave a comment when we were talking about instant points. He says the best feature of this league is the 30 instant points. Congratulations to the organisers for that. So, some feedback there. He says just don't take it away. Never take it away.
No, it's just to follow on from that. When it was first introduced a few